Yeah. Oh, hi. Hi.
The last word I said was the word.
Hey, we're live. We're so live right now. Hello. Hello.
Everybody.
Can everybody hear them?
I hope that.
If you knew what we
I
were
had
talking
some,
about before you walked in here,
I had some broken music. It wasn't playing
music.
through. Everything wasn't working right.
I mean, that sounds like a. I'm sure something will break during this.
Oh man. Hey, so hello everybody. We're doing things different tonight. Yeah, we're so what are we gonna do? Play GTA?
We're gonna talk about GTA.
thought we were playing Among Us. What's wrong with you?
We're playing GTA on the VR.
I'll turn you guys up a little bit. All right.
Oh my
We're gonna
god.
play Among Us GTA version.
That means
That's
it's gonna
what we
keep
were.
us
Among
lower
Us
than him.
GTA version. Yeah.
No, you're at the same level as me, I hope.
Bullshit!
That's the way I like it. I like to
listen.
keep things even. Keep it level. It's not my
I gotta
fault that you
listen
got
to
your
this.
microphone turned down all the time.
He likes.
No, it's not. I'm substantially lower. I need to crank myself up to 200.
Hey, Captain Boot Hat wants to know if is there an option if we don't want to hear them?
Okay, you know what? Boo that. Boot hat. Whatever the hell your name is. Calm down. Calm it the fuck down.
Hey,
I'll give you
Captain
an
Blue had
option.
good people.
It's
Hey,
the
he's
greatest
good
thing.
people. You leave him alone. You leave him alone. I say that because he likes every one of my tweets.
If you
Say
currently
something.
donate $100, I will mute myself for half an hour. If you donate $200, you can mute.
You know, if you donate $200, I'll mute myself as well,
No, that's the 400s here.
and I'll
That's,
and I'll turn off the screen. And
if you don't, no. If you donate $200, Danger will do this whole entire stream shirtless.
Oh, that's hot.
yeah, I'll take off my hoodie.
That's hot. I need that.
No. I'm talking.
Doesn't this look
full-
nice and soft and
Full
cuddly?
bear style.
So I should
grease up.
preface that this is a special thing we're doing because, you know, if you think about it, the thing that everybody loves most about the stream, it's not the fucking GTA that we're playing. In fact, I'm pretty sure that most people don't give a shit about what's going on in the fucking game that we're playing. And what people really like is the random conversations that we have. And this goes back all the way to the beginning, back when it was edited videos. Back when it was Russ and Chad and Tragic, the Russ Chad Tragic show, and sometimes James Junbeo.
Yep. Yeah.
Christine.
And Christine, yes.
Don't forget Christine.
Yeah, can't forget Christine. But
And they,
It's Black History Month. We
but-
can't forget Christine.
yes.
why? What? No, I'm not even. No, don't answer that. So,
Don't.
real quick,
Maybe
I'm
a
just
special
gonna
guest at
say
some
hi
time.
to everybody. Captain Boot Hat's here. We got Crazy Mixed Up Pup who's in the chat. By the way, I just I recorded some footage this week. Had Moto Brado and Crazy Mixed Up Pup in it, and it's hilarious.
What was the stuff that you said you did randomly?
I don't
That was fun.
know.
You put a
what
tweet
you're
out
talking
and you said,
about.
"I've just recorded some stuff that's." No, you said to us in our special chat that you've done something recorded that was just hilarious in the moment.
That's secret. You know, the
I
one
don't
supposed to tell nobody.
Yeah.
I've got no
Oh.
idea.
Yo.
Anyways,
Oh, okay.
so you guys have heard Crazy Mixed Up Pup every now and then. He's the voice that's startlingly smooth and calm when everybody else is screaming because everything's going to hell.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
And you know, I didn't know, like, you know, I didn't know if like Crazy Mixed Up Pup was going to be like a huge star in this recording, because, you know, he's a quiet guy. He doesn't talk very much. But I realized that what Crazy Mixed Up Pup does is he just waits for his moment. Like there's so many times where I just turned around to see Crazy Mixed Up Pup he had a skin that was like a gray alien. And and it was just hilarious because he's super deadpan.
Oh, he's like Elaine's boyfriend in Seinfeld.
I don't get that reference. And I was alive for all of Seinfeld.
High five. High five. Kirk Bergeron. What's his name?
I
Bill
forget.
Brooker.
Crazy Mix Up Pups here. We got Sir Jimothy. It's been a while since he's been here.
Roblox Savage.
Yeah, Husky's here. I'm getting some feedback from Osmo Joe.
You know?
Joe.
It's just a little bit. It's a little bit.
I moved my mic closer and I was breathing in.
Ah.
Yeah, bless him.
It's okay.
Roblox Savage. Haven't seen that name in quite a while. I'm glad. I'm happy to see that name. Light Bright, who attests that you can't handle me shirtless.
Ooh.
Sergeant Pickles. We got Blitz of Chaos Gaming. I've got a Mike's Hard, which is Black Cherry.
Flavors.
And probably some other people who are here but lurking, and that's fine. We're pretty much going to treat this kind of like a podcast. I don't want to call it that yet, but it kind of. Oh, Osmo Joe, of course, is in the chat. So with that, I'm not going to do too many like shout outs to people, but if you have something to add, if you have a good comment for what we're talking about, it might pop up in whatever.
If you're a top tier subscriber.
yeah. If
We'll
you're
read
a
your
subscriber, your comments have a better chance of getting through.
Patreon priority currently. I know how this
Speaking
works.
of follow,
You know.
baby kitten. I'm followed by a baby kitten.
Aww.
Send your questions. Tweet them to us. We'll answer them live on chat.
And Jessica Mack just subscribed. Thanks.
See? I've got this.
You know what would
if you
really
didn't
fuck all
know-
this up is if I got follow bombed, like what happens every time I play Roblox.
Oh, that would be so sad. That would be so wrong if so many people just sub to you right now. That would be a horrible thing for people just to sub to you here on twitch.tv/DangerPlaysVR.
They're already here. They don't need the link again. Oh, Baby Kitten's been around since the early days with Russ, way back in the day. So
Fortunately, he's been replaced.
Oh, so you know what? I should put on screen. I totally, I totally snubbed you guys. I did not mean to do that. Let's see. Let me get some text on the screen because people need to know who we're talking to. And let's see. We've got us. Oh, Joe. And Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Chris W.
Should we just change our name?
I don't know if you put your name out there anymore. I know your last name, but I don't know if you use it anymore. And
You got to use capitals.
You're a capital.
My name looks terrible. It looks better in capitals.
Fine.
We was talking about names before you walked in here, Danger. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. We was all into that.
I'm always.
There's supposed to be an E on awesome, right?
Yeah, but it's spelled exactly the same as the awesome of how Cartman does it in South Park.
And
it's I know, trust me, I know.
Underscore.
There we go.
Lestat. People might not know Tragic's last name is Lestat. Wow, that's I've got some big text going on.
Yeah.
Oh, where the fuck did it go?
Maybe it's still there.
No,
make
it
it smaller.
disappeared. I fucked it up. Oh, it's
Oh.
off screen. Hold on, I got it. It's backwards now. What the fuck? Hold on, I got this. There we
See,
go.
this is all the stuff you miss. See, that's the
There we
great
go.
thing about this podcast. The reason why we've kind of gone into this is this is the kind of stuff we talk about random shit when the streams end. It's like it's just a perfect place.
I don't know where to put this. I'll put it right in the middle of my chest.
No, above the danger plays.
Yeah, you think that's a good spot? I need to give it some.
No,
better
go ahead,
colors.
hold on. See, you don't give us top billing over Danger Plays VR.
No, if it's a perfect spot, look, it fits perfectly right in there.
How about
there
blue?
Ooh,
Let's
that's my
see,
favorite color. My favorite color.
No, oh god,
pink
it's like
or the pink. No, pink. The hyper pink.
yeah.
Fluorescent.
Hyper
yeah,
pink.
fluorescent pink or fluorescent pink.
Oh god, that's even worse.
Can you make it like the font different, like so it's bold?
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can make it glow. Hold on.
Keep it like neon. Neons around the name, so it's like the pink on the inside, blue on the outside.
Well, all the other graphics I did in Photoshop, so.
Oh. We're getting too fancy.
Yeah, time to make those graphics. They don't make themselves.
This is not a customizer, Awesome Joe.
That's fine.
Here we
If
go.
that's
Hold
your
on.
real name.
We'll make it a gradient.
Oh,
Gradient colors. Everybody
Like,
loves gradients, right?
great. What?
Yeah, gradient colors.
Oh, there we go. Faded.
We'll do the
Hey,
direction. Like
is there like a microphone
so.
symbol that can go at the end of the names?
no, well, if I put a lot of work into it, yeah.
Oh.
Outline. We need an outline. We'll do.
So,
The podcast
see,
will
how
start.
Yeah. No, this is it. This is the podcast.
this is it.
Oh, it's just like the drawing podcast.
Yeah, it's like the drawing.
The drawing stream.
It just happens.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes,
That doesn't look too bad, does it?
No, that's good.
Yeah,
It's legit.
that's all
Legit.
right.
Oh no. Yep, I like it.
Yeah, so if anybody asks, if anybody in the chat comes in, they're like, "Who's he talking to?"
Who says
Everybody
I'm
in
too
the chat
loud?
can be like, "It's right on the screen, dummy," and then
Yeah, it's
say
like
it just
right
like
there.
that.
Big goof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joe makes trips is like, Jesus, this looks like an emo girl's MySpace page. It really does.
I love that.
No, this is Bieber.
I
Like you could, G.
Oh, by the way, my existential crisis meter is measured in bits.
Oh,
So the more bits, the more crises we have.
Yeah, it just measures my level of existential dread.
you need to take the donation bar down to 0 and then change it to like 500.
I could do that.
Look, we have to give them
someone
something. We have to give something back to the people.
I haven't updated it since like December when we reached that goal. Back when I really needed the money.
Well, yeah.
But now I get I'm getting unemployment, so
Mm.
literally the worst group of podcasters in existence. That should be our motto.
Thank you.
That
Thank
should be
you
the
very much.
tagline.
You know what?
What did you
I tried my
name
work.
this? What did you name this? We came up with a name.
You came
Terrible.
up with a name?
Yeah, we had a perfect. Chris, would you like to tell him the name?
No.
God, it was
do
Chris.
it.
What was it? It was Chris's awesome, tragic, dangerous podcast. That's what it was.
That's not bad.
No, but it sounded better with actually
Yeah,
out your
let's-
name.
Let's workshop that a little bit, but you're onto something.
Hey. You know what, Joe? I came up with the
What-
name.
What was my one? No. I'm gonna go all the way back. Where was it? 'Cause
Oh,
it sounded,
God.
it rolled off the tongue so well.
No,
Let's
it
have
did
a look.
not.
It
No,
did.
it
Look,
did not.
you just pasted over it. We had it nailed. We had it down to a T.
Like Jesus on the cross, that kind of nailed, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it. No, the awesome. No, that was my one. The dangerously awesome tragic
Ah.
podcast.
Sir Jimothy's got it. Just call it
Perfect.
the dumpster fire.
The dumpster
Is it
fire.
taken? Because I think that's a really good name for
That's
a
a
podcast.
funny name.
Yeah.
I like that.
The dumpster
Yeah.
files. That's it. The dumpster files. That actually is perfect because that could segue into the next bit.
The next, yeah. So, is the dumpster files like a play on
That's-
the X Files? But
legit.
it's like
Yes.
instead of the FBI, it's just like you found a bunch of like You found a
Just
bunch of conspiracy theories in a dumpster somewhere.
It's just a bunch of random shit we found on Reddit.
Oh, I thought we was doing dubstep. I'm sorry.
What how did you want to start this?
Fuck. That's why I wanted to plan this shit. You're like, no, let's just
Wing it.
freestyle it.
Yeah.
Wing
Hello,
it.
ladies.
I want to at least be semi-professional about it.
Yeah, the
Hello,
initial
ladies and-
plan was creepy stuff. You guys were talking about all kinds of creepy stuff and ghost stories and that kind of stuff.
This is
I
why I
thought we were
said
gonna talk
you
about
to
hemorrhoids.
start. No. That's why I told you to start a page on the Discord so we can hear other people's stories. And we can segue into that
You
instead
told-
of us coming up with our own shit.
You told me to do that?
Yes, I told you exactly to do that.
Danger's a busy man.
I
Joe.
don't recall this.
You read it and replied to it, but you blanked over it. You're like, yeah, okay. And there's like this short reply. And I was like, what the?
There was no
Okay.
reply.
Prove it.
There
Totally
was-
blanked.
There
So
was
blank.
no reply.
Like half of the stuff we talked about in that blanked.
Look, there was no reply. I'm
The
gonna
only
tell
person
you,
that was good at replying
Danger's
was
a
Chris.
nice guy. Danger's a
Chris
nice
got
guy.
it.
There was no reply at all. There was no reply. We were not talking about this. We were just going to start the podcast. And
Yeah.
do two podcasts.
Speaking of,
That's
you
what
had the
we're gonna
worst
do.
replies.
See
There was
what-
no reply.
You see what you
None-
did to
none.
Tragic?
You
You
were-
broke him.
Bad,
If you
person.
didn't know, I'm
You
trying to
were
be the
bad.
manager of all this.
Yeah.
These are some very disgruntled employees I have.
Y'all getting paid for this?
Well,
China.
You know,
This is
so
China's-
before we get into anything, I think you know there's been some stuff that we've been working on. Well, kinda a little bit for the last 3 weeks or
wow.
so. If people,
I've been working on.
people listen, let me just get this out. I need to get it out. This is like the update portion of the whole thing. Now that everybody is here, there's you might notice if you go to the Discord, there's like some new tabs that you probably can't look at because one of them's special project and the other one's VR Boiz. So, I'm kind. It's
Tragic,
thing
do you want to
is-
explain?
No,
the thing
no.
is that you know there's fuck.
There's going to be a slight
Hold on.
rebranding going on. I know
Yes.
everybody has come out here to see Danger do his thing, get shot up in GTA and things like that.
Okay, so you know
But
how
there's
my
gonna be a
name
slight-
is Danger Plays VR now, and I've done exactly like 2 VR streams in the last year.
Soon it'll be 3.
So the plan is to make more VR videos similar to what I made last year that some of you saw. And it's I intentionally want to get new people to watch my videos. Not that I don't like you guys, all the people who are watching my videos currently, but there's only a couple hundred of you, and that doesn't pay the fucking bills. So, my channel, Snake Fist Explosion / Danger Plays VR, it's beyond blacklisted. It's beyond that. And actually, I didn't even tell you guys this. I started a new channel. I actually renamed my channel again to just Danger Plays. Because there was actually nothing in the way of that branding like permanent anyways. There was no link generated. Like I'm pretty sure the link to my channel is still Snake Fist Explosion. So I made a
Motherfucker,
new
we
channel, Danger Plays VR. There's nothing on it. I'm starting from scratch. These streams will still go to my old channel, but I'm starting something new. And also we're going to be doing things on another platform called Fruit Labs, which is kind of like a really small YouTube that nobody knows about yet. And
Just like regular YouTube.
yeah, well, regular
Well, you'll
YouTube,
pay-
like if you don't have 25 million subscribers right now, you're not even you're not even being serious, you know. So, you know, there's a whole strategy involved, but to do this, I can't do it myself. There's just too much to do, especially in the upcoming season of excavation. I'm not wearing my excavation hat, actually. I was going to point to it, but I'm not wearing it. I drive a dump truck now. I drive a dump truck and I do manual labor. I dig holes with a shovel and I rake a lot.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
Big, strong.
And I
Wow.
drive a big truck. I drive a big truck.
The big
And,
one.
Not a player. I just rake a
so
lot.
what I decided, and I've conversed with a few people that I think have some hidden talents that could use some, you know, some discovery. You know, they might discover something new about them, like Osimo Joe, Chris, and Tragic. We're
Oh no, we knew what Tragic could do.
I've kind of set up we're setting up sort of an infrastructure to try to tackle a big attempt to get views by giving these guys jobs that they won't be paid for.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
one
okay.
day, if it makes money, you guys will be the first to see it. Because
Well, if people started listening to me,
Oh
we
God.
might be somewhere.
Joe is
I'm
he's
full of ideas.
He's got
but
a
no
lot
one
of
listens to them.
ideas, and you kind of caught my attention a while back because you started saying the things in chat that I've been saying to myself for a very long time.
In your head. I've always
Yeah.
been in your head.
Yeah,
Osimo Joe,
You're over here like you got to make regular updates, and you gotta play the games that people want to watch, and you gotta update people on the social media, and you gotta get this other social media, and you gotta do this other thing. And I'm like, God damn it, Joe, get out of my head.
You know, the whole thing where he notifies people an hour early.
Yeah.
My idea. When he wonders why people didn't turn up.
I mean, no.
Damn,
And
Ringo.
halfway through the stream, you know, or notifications. I didn't get a notification. I didn't know it was live. And then you get to the end of the stream. Sorry, we're ending. Well, have you notified an hour early?
Yeah. Also,
Just demonstrate and just put it out there. Just.
simple things like going on at the same time every day.
You know, like,
picking one day and sticking to it. Picking one platform and not switching back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah, little things like that.
You know.
But yeah, Chris is going to be doing some editing. You know, we're going to tackle editing like a team of editing vipers.
yes.
Like if you could train poisonous snakes to edit videos, that's how we're going to do it.
That's how we're gonna do it. It may not work, but we'll see.
No, we're training falcons.
Well, that's stage 2. We haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. The problem is teaching the very complicated keyboard shortcuts that are needed to edit to a falcon is a little bit trickier than you might think. And oddly enough, a viper is much more suited to it.
Speaking of a falcon, if you donate $100, a falcon will appear on the screen.
Yeah, did you know that?
The man.
And of course, Tragic has many talents. I always said that if I ever made it anywhere and ever had like a budget for anything, I would put Tragic in charge of merchandise.
I sell the shit out of that shit.
But Tragic also has other skills, and we're
still figuring those out.
Yeah, we're figuring them out. But Tragic is definitely a diamond in the rough. He's very rough.
Thank you, Danger.
You know, it's a very cloudy diamond. Extremely rough.
It's so rough it cuts your skin anytime you touch it.
Yeah, like you wouldn't put him on a ring yet, but
No, you
but with
we
some
gotta-
polishing,
He's like asbestos.
maybe like a pendant.
I can be in a buzzsaw right about now. Just
You could put them in a drill tip. Put them at the end of a drill.
There you go.
Drill through
Where's-
some
where's
very
go-
dense metal.
We're going off subject.
Oh no, this is the epilogue. This is the prologue.
Yeah.
Prologue.
We practiced this.
I didn't practice shit. I just showed up on time.
Joe Makes Drifts is like, if this is a long ass coal joke, I'm calling racism. I didn't even think to go there, but man, missed opportunities.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, the thankfully missed opportunities.
The channel's gonna be canceled and blacklisted before we even get on anything.
Yeah.
Don't say blacklisted.
Oh shit.
Well,
Oh shit.
By the way, the flavor of my Mike's Harder lemonade is black cherry.
That sounds hard.
Yeah, that's real hard.
During Black History Month, the dude abides.
And then, of course, my other team is the VR Boys, and these are people who talents include owning a VR headset.
And that's it.
But actually, so far it's Moto Brado, who's in the chat right now, and also Crazy Mixed Up Pup, and as a duo have been incredibly hilarious.
I'm very excited to see these shenanigans.
Oh my god!
Now, while you're here, are you able to create another group in Discord?
No. We're gonna do that after the show.
Yeah, let's do that
No,
after. It's
I
a
want to hear
process.
people's lives
Oh
and
my
shit.
god.
Look, we're not here for your fetishes, awesome.
Okay, if
No, but they have to pay to get.
okay,
into
here's the thing. If you want to tell Awesomeo Joe your spooky stories, you can do so right in the lobby. You can in Discord. Just make sure you at Awesomeo Joe.
There you go.
Yes,
then he
and
can get on.
And I will read your stories and I will read your comments live.
Yeah.
Here.
I have a scary story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a scary story. I have a couple. So,
Well, send
When I
them to Awesomeo Joe.
well, Joe, shut up. I got you, okay.
Okay.
So,
okay.
when I was a little kid, right, in Indiana, my cousin's family, they were just married and they moved into this little brick house. And the little brick house had a basement about the same size as the house, and it was a finished basement, except for one corner that they couldn't really get to. There was a bunch of stuff in the way; they never really could get into that corner of the basement.
Wait, hold
And
on. I need to know more about this corner.
Oh,
So the whole
This-
thing was finished. So describe this. Is it like carpeted furniture?
so this corner of the basement had a door that was jammed shut. It was like a piece of plywood, and it was kind of a door, like a shed kind of door. Like it wasn't a proper door.
Yeah.
And it was behind a doorway, a proper doorway, and then there was this like shed door behind it. The
So
rest,
using Sorry,
the-
go ahead.
the rest of the basement was completely finished, and my oldest cousin, she had a room. There was a finished bedroom down there that she had, and then there was like a little dance living area there, big giant open area, and then there was another room that they could get into that was a bathroom / washer dryer.
What? Wait, no, stop.
There was a bath.
Bad.
A lot of restrooms have a washer and dryer in them.
Right.
You're talking
Yeah.
about washing and dry. You talking about like old school Amish washing and drying
For
in
your
the bathroom?
clothes,
No,
tragic,
no.
where you put your clothes in and it comes out clean.
Yeah,
So
not the
there was a
laundrette.
I don't mean to mess up your story, but I don't want to be shitting when I'm fucking washing my clothes. I'm just sorry.
Well,
To be fair, yeah, you wouldn't want
houses
your
are built like that.
you wouldn't
So,
want your Lamani suit.
You know, I didn't realize that there was such a cultural gap between us, tragic. But
yeah. Anyway,
but us white people, we have machines that wash our clothes for us.
he's also in Florida. He's about 80 years
Is this
back.
what white privilege is?
Yeah. Oh my
and the racial jokes.
No, there we go.
That's-
Anyway, All right.
Sorry. Carry on.
So let's stop making fun of the black guy. Let's get forward with my story.
Poor black guy. Let's get it right.
So about a first,
I'm in the class, motherfucker. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
the first 2 weeks in this house were fine. But then on week 3, my cousin started seeing something moving around in the basement at nighttime, kind of maybe walking by her door sometimes. So she started closing and locking the door. Didn't really not much.
Like something in the darkness.
Yes. And then my aunt was waking up, going to the bathroom, and when she came out of the bathroom, she looked in the kitchen, and there was a knife, a singular knife, on the kitchen floor. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Now,
That's not where it goes.
it probably just fell off the counter. It's perfectly explainable.
Yeah.
Well, these little occurrences keep happening, and they keep trying to get that damn door open. They can't get this door open. So eventually, at about 2 months in there, kind of these weird things keep happening, and they start hearing somebody talking every once in a while, but they can't quite hear what they're saying or who said it. But there's 4 or 5 people in the house, so they don't think much of it. And then they finally open the door. And all that's in there is just some dirt and a couple pieces of spare wood. A piece of wood had fallen over and blocked the door. So there wasn't anything in there, right? Well, once they started leaving that door open, it started getting incredibly cold in the basement around 3 or 4 in the morning. My cousin would wake up and she'd close the door and put extra blankets on. And then those voices got a little louder. And then one night I came over to visit, and I was over to visit because, well, they were getting kind of scared at nighttime. There were these just increasingly loud, odd noises. And so they invited me over. And well, whatever was in that room, whatever it was, didn't like that there was new company in the house, So we were in the basement, we were hanging out, and then all of a sudden, we hear a very quiet scream.
Like how quiet?
That's oxymoronic. Go ahead.
Like it sounds like a scream, but it's muffled. Like someone's like putting their hand like that.
Oh.
So we look through the house, we can't find anything, so we're freaked out. But what we notice is we don't hear it upstairs. And okay, that's kind of weird. So we just put the TV on or whatever because we're hanging out downstairs, and it gets a little louder. And so we say, "Fuck this! We're gonna go upstairs."
Yeah.
So we all go upstairs.
Sounds like the right thing to do.
And well, it's just a little creepy down there. It's probably nothing. And then all of a sudden, in the vents, it gets louder, and we just start hearing this like shrieking in the vents of the house.
I'm just gonna jump in here. If this was a black guy, he would have moved out already.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
like
he'd be loading his truck.
Like no warning, just like I'm out.
Yep.
So we are shitting our pants because we
You just march out the front door and just keep going. Like nope, I'll buy new stuff.
Leave that shit. Kids, get in the car. They're out.
So we can't figure out the source of this, right? And my uncle at the time, he's looking through the HVAC system trying to figure out why there's this sound. Maybe it's wind, maybe it's something else, but we can't figure it out. It's getting at 3 a.m. and it kind of stops for a little bit, and so everyone's like, okay, it's probably just a broken fan or something. We'll figure it out tomorrow. It's fine.
A screaming fan?
So, hey, it could be wind moving very quickly through the vents. Yeah. So we all
house fart,
and so we all.
It's just the house settling.
Me and my cousins, it was about their sisters. We just all go lay down in the same bedroom because we're freaked out. I'm on the floor, and the other one's on the bed, and the other one's on her floor.
Everybody knows that if you sleep in the same room, the vampires can't get you.
Exactly. So we're sitting there, and my head is right next to the vent, and then I just start hearing, "You might want to get out of here now." And I'm like, "What? No shit! I fucking heard somebody whisper that in my ear, and my ear is next to a vent."
So they're in the vent.
So it's whatever. This
okay.
noise.
So there's a squatter in the vent.
No. Has your neighbor been doing any recent development lately, and they want to maybe buy your property?
Anyway,
Might scare you out. They might want to
Guys.
do an extension or something.
No,
This is like
nothing
the-
like that. But there is this factory down the road that keeps on saying they want our land.
And then for the rest of the night, right? So I jump up, I freak out, and I go towards the other side of the room and hide. And I'm like, "Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Anybody else hear that?" So maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I just heard something. But for the rest of the night, we all sit there and we just kept hearing this like shrieking, but like a wind shrieking sound that we just couldn't explain all night long. We couldn't sleep, and it didn't stop until the sun woke up. When the sun finally rose in the house, it got quiet.
So that's what I would do if I was the land, after the land. Just pre-record
then-
something, just cancel record in the air vents there. Just fuck with you. It's
So
perfect.
needless to say, they actually had a priest come out, and the priest was like, "I can't find nothing here. I'm sure it's nothing." And then they
Did he ask for payment after?
No, but
Donation?
he did the whole family moved out within a couple of months after that. They moved out very quickly from that house because
So it worked then, and the land was
Maybe.
sold.
maybe it was a fan that was just broken. Maybe it was just our minds playing tricks on us as kids. Or maybe there was a murderous ghost in there. I don't know.
Did
But
you have
know
a gas leak, maybe?
possibly? But
Were,
you know
were
what
you breathing propane?
I might have been.
Were you guys huffing?
But
Propane products.
There's a glue factory next door.
The horses. No, not the horses.
the very end of the
Old
story
Man
is very-
Withers from the amusement park.
So in the end, this house
Jinkies.
about a year after they moved out, it had been just abandoned, and
Sorry.
there was a mall kind of by that house a few miles down a road, and so we drove by it to check on it because we knew it as the haunted house because it was fucking creepy. Something was happening there, and we drove by one day to check on it, and it had burnt to the ground.
Yeah, I burned it to the ground.
So there you go. That's one of my many scary stories as a kid.
Wow.
How old were you and how old was your cousin? Because I'm very disappointed that you was in a room full of women and like there's no
Tragic. No, Joe, let me handle it. Tragic.
Sorry,
tragic.
everybody. Tragic's from Mississippi.
Yeah, so hey,
And they got web toes and shit.
that's disgusting. Okay.
What-
We don't have sex with our family
what-
member.
You said cousins, so
Yeah,
I'm
not
just
all white
assuming.
people are the same tragic.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
That's racist.
He said cousins. He said cousins. I heard fucking.
No, he said
That's all I
cousins.
heard.
Have
It's
you
just
had sex with your
cousin.
cousin?
Cousin.
Yeah, cousin's a non-gender specific pronoun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, so that's one of my scary
All right.
stories. There's a lot of other weird shit that happened when I was a kid, but who else has got one?
Wow.
we didn't.
Joe, you have something?
Yo, what's your scary story? I'll tell another one if you ain't got nothing.
We'll just rip into that one as well. Yeah.
All right, well, shit. I'll tell you one more. All right. So we were really fucked up.
Turns out that Chris has just been like moving from haunted house to haunted house.
No, dude. I had a really.
It was buried on an Indian burial ground. What's wrong with you?
No, that wasn't my family. That
What's
was my dad.
wrong with you?
No,
Chris is like, no, we didn't live on any Indian burial
That was
grounds,
the
but
immigrant family across the street.
I don't know. I
They-
found this finger bone when I was 4, and then ever since then, every house we moved into had ghosts. Weird.
Okay, look. This next story is really messed up. Okay, so
Was it buried on a blockbuster?
so me and some friends of mine would hang around in this apartment complex, and this apartment complex was built on a swamp, but now it had been converted into flat land. So there had been some serious irrigation and stuff, and this swamp is just outside of Chicago.
Swamp gas.
There may or may not have been a
Was
few
born.
people buried in this swamp back in the 20s and 30s.
Like
So it
Blockbuster.
always had a creepy vibe. It had these big willow trees and stuff. And so there was this little folk tale about a ghost in the neighborhood. And so my friends would usually take it a little bit too far. And so they would start acting like we would play a game where somebody would get possessed by
Wait,
the
were these
ghost.
your cousins again?
No,
Okay.
these were other cousins and neighbors. So one of us would play as a possessed ghost named, I forget, I think Lorraine was the ghost's name. And so-
Lorraine.
Why?
Yeah.
What kind of ghost
Wait,
name is
why?
Lorraine?
Why are you playing this game? This is a bad game.
See, I'm telling you, man, this is a bad story. So
Hey, want to play a game that ends up conjuring a ghost named Lorraine? Let's do it.
let's do it. So the old folk tale was that in the 20s or 30s, a gang boss had a mistress, and the mistress was murdered, and her body was dumped in the old swamp. Well, there's no swamp left anymore. Now it's just dry land, but she technically could have been dumped here. We don't know. Along with Capone's gold. Al Capone also stashed some treasure in my hometown. Anyway, so we played this fucking game where one of us would act like a fucking idiot and be like, "Oh God, let's do this. Nothing could happen here." And of course, what is directly behind this apartment complex? A little wooded area that we would go play in. So about 8 or 9 kids, we'd all run into the little wooded area and be playing like nice American, children in the 90s. But one of us was acting like a possessed, murderous ghost. And so we would,
God,
Like my ex.
that follower alert just scared the shit out of me.
So I've been trying to
It's Dr. Shrimp Guy. Hi.
Thanks, Dr. Trump guy. So, what ended up happening one day is my a friend, I think her name was Tiffany. She got possessed by Lorraine. Lorraine had possessed her
In the game or for real?
in the game.
Okay.
In the game.
So like you could have just played tag.
So
Go ahead
anyway,
and go get it.
so she's running around chasing people, and everyone's screaming Lorraine's name, and then out of nowhere, I see a very old-looking lady in a
25.
fancy dress. No, like 95 years old in a dress. And my friend was standing right next to me, and we were looking at the same thing. I'm like, "Did you see that? Did you see that lady?" And he's all like, "What lady?" "The lady in the dress." And he's like, "Oh man, maybe it's more than just a folk tale. Maybe Lorraine's actually here." And then out of nowhere, Tiffany, who's possessed, runs up and jumps on my fucking back because she's like playing this fucked up tag game, and I just like 50 feet in the fucking air. I'm like, "Dude, I actually saw Lorraine." "What?" "Lorraine, here, we gotta get the fuck out of here. She's gonna kill us all." And so it's about 8:30 at night, and 10 kids come screaming, blood-curdling screams, because I think I saw some lady. Maybe I didn't. And we all come bursting out of the woods into the parking lot of the apartment complex, going, "Oh, the ghost is coming to kill us! The ghost is coming to kill us!" And at that exact same time, my cousin, who was not playing with us, my younger cousin, had tripped and fallen and smashed her head open, and half of her body was covered in blood as an ambulance was pulling up to save her. So we were running up there. My cousin, who she literally just fell on the stairs when she was walking inside the house.
This
Nothing to do
happened
with-
like away from what you guys were doing.
Yes,
Like a completely separate occurrence. Okay.
And then we were running into the parking lot, blood curdling, screaming from a ghost that's probably not even real. And then my cousin is sitting there covered in blood, waiting for an ambulance with my uncle, and my uncle is just all like, "Mother of God." we look at our cousin, and she's covered in blood, and we're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And then all the neighbors come out, and the ambulance rolls in, and the ambulance is like, "Whoa, what's happening here?"
I mean, who the hell is your uncle to just be like, I just picture him like aviator sunglasses, just looking off into the sunset, beer in his hand. He sees all of this going down. You coming screaming out of the woods about a ghost, and then this child is bleeding out of their severely smashed head. And then he's just like,
Yep.
"Mother of God."
The ambulance comes up, and everyone calms down, and we all run to our houses. Our parents come out. They all corral us in there. And then
CPS takes you away.
no, it was fine. And then what happened that night is we've been having utility problems with the gas company.
I see.
So
What were the problems?
Well, the problems started out at first we were getting double billed.
Oh.
Or there was too much gas being
Ghosts!
in our building. And so that's very strange. Okay. And then another thing that happened is our stove kept going out. Like it would stop getting gas at times. So the gas man came and tried to fix it.
Ghosts!
But they couldn't figure out what was happening. And then what happened was we started getting little gas leaks out of the stove. And so we would just turn the pilot light off and be fine. Well, after all this commotion, we all go into our apartments, and I go in the apartment and my mom's all sleepy and yawning. My much older cousin who's staying with us, who was out of high school at that point, he was an adult, and he was all kind of sleepy and everything. And they're talking about, I can't believe this happened. And I'm all like,
is he sleepy because your apartment's just filled with propane gas?
And they're like,
every time I go inside, I get a headache and fall asleep.
And so my mom runs to the stove and she opens it up and she's all like, the pilot light's still on. I've turned it off like 6 times. And then she's like, oh my God, no, my God, it does smell like rotten eggs. Oh, God, get out. We got to call the fire department. So as my cousin's being hauled off in the ambulance, my cousin's family has left, and they call the fire department. The fire department has to come, and then they evacuate the apartment building. All this is on the same night because they almost fell asleep with the gas leak, and they get that thing fixed. And we were out there in the cold. It started to snow too, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was
so
all the ghosts' plan to get you outside.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm all like, so I saw this dead lady after we conjured her name to play a stupid game, and she's probably trying to kill me. Or at least everybody I love.
Yeah. I'd make that connection, sure.
So I tell my mom what happened and how I'm feeling, and my mom's like, son, I'm trying to make sure the house doesn't blow up. Can you just sit in the car and stop talking for a little bit? I love you. And then she got back in the car and she's all like, okay, so we're gonna go see your cousin because she's getting released from the hospital now, all right? And then by the time I get back, we should be able to go back home.
Poor Chris's mom just had enough, and she's like, Chris, just go in the car.
Yeah. Just get in the car. Get in the car.
Shut the fuck up.
Just get in the car.
There's no fucking ghost. You are nuts like your father. We need to get going.
Mommy needs some quiet time, Chris.
Mommy needs quiet time.
Just like your father.
Exactly. So anyway, what ended up happening is my cousin with like medical wrap around her head, and the rest of us all still kind of high from the inhalation of gas and possible haunting, go to Dairy Queen and have a delicious ice cream cone.
Yeah, so happy ending.
Yep, everybody moved out of that apartment building in a few months, and it's since been demolished.
And it burned down.
Does every place you live get demolished right after you leave?
Well, you see, the town that I lived in has expanded in size by 4 times, so they had to demolish just about everything to build larger units on top of it. Even the hospital I was born at has been knocked down and replaced with a larger hospital.
What I am disappointed is that you were sitting up there with more cousins and more friends, and you're telling me you saw no boob, not from the ghost, not from your friend, not from your cousin.
Sex of you, isn't it?
I was 11.
Prime time. Prime time.
I didn't know what a boob was, so I was like 13.
Yeah, but you knew there was a woman in the woods. How did you know it was a woman? You didn't see boob.
Tragic. There was there were 20 of them. Like there were like 10 to 20 of them. All genders having a good time.
Having a good time.
Oh no! Number one, there was only 2 at that point in time. The rest of them didn't come into the to the 2000s. You know that. So don't say it was all genders. It was just 2 back then.
Yeah, that is true. This was a time where societal gender norms were very strict.
In the 1990s. You know it.
Right down to haircuts, like long hair, girl.
You
Short
saw
hair,
a woman in
boy.
the.
No,
You
because in
wanna-
the '90s there were a lot of rocker dudes that had long hair.
That was the only exception,
Did-
is if you were a famous rock star.
How did you know this was? How do you know this was a woman? Was she wearing flapper clothes? Was she a flapper out there in the woods chasing you down, cutting on pilot lights?
I was. I really want to put this in perspective for you. This was 21 years ago. I'm sorry. She was in
Okay.
a fancy dress. But I was-
She was naked.
Let's move away from this one.
You said she was missing a dress. What's going on?
Just tearing it apart.
fancy dress.
A fancy dress.
For the-
Fancy.
what I missed the May is like there was no ghost sightings, but then they got rid of the water. Was the water in the swamp holy water in this fucking swamp?
Yeah.
That once it was drained, then the ghosts started coming out. Like what the
They
fuck,
do it
man?
with it's called tragic. I know you're from Mississippi, and like no amount of irrigation can fix that state. But but what people do is they just
Oh.
divert the water to a different area, and the land dries up.
But
Okay,
I'm just saying this.
So it's just like Detroit 3, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah. So tragic. After this, we're gonna need some quiet time.
Anyway,
I lost in the car.
so what else?
God, I've heard stories that Tragic has told. If anybody's tuned into a Fiasco stream, we know exactly what kind of story Tragic would tell.
That's what. Yeah.
There's something deep within me that desperately wishes Tragic had a traumatic ghost-related experience as a child that he's just now reliving and wants to tell us.
That story played out so well. I remember it. Because you really went into it.
Oh, you talking about the hot tub? Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
All of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back to my place where I got a hot tub and my building, my house.
I feel violated.
It was such a bizarre story.
But it's okay because you've got just as good a story, haven't you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, not as good as Chris's story.
well-
All I've got is second hand.
Didn't you have any experiences in the military? Anything weird at night?
Well, I got drunk one night and
You
Passed
woke
out.
up and you,
passed out in a bush with my pants on backwards, but I don't think that counts.
your butt,
Also,
your butt suddenly
that's
hurting.
that's the whole story.
All right. Well, first
Like,
off,
why does my ass hurt?
okay. Well, now I'm around. Second, didn't you say something about like a murderer or something in your hometown or something, Danger?
Yeah, like you killed your. I'm not good.
I killed my dad. I'm just admitting this now, but I killed my father. Actually, this isn't a ghost story, but this is. I don't know if I've ever told this story before. When I first moved back to northern New York, like 10 years ago.
I told you he did it. I told
Yes,
you he did.
you're right.
Come.
Yep.
This how he got his girl. This how he got his girl.
This is not. That's not how this is going.
I told y'all.
Yeah,
I thought
you
this
are
way,
right.
didn't you?
So I went back to New
Called
York.
it. You called it.
And I
You
got-
called it.
I got a temp job at a cheese factory.
Oh,
The
shit,
pl-
you turned him into
in fact,
cheese.
it's the place that Kraft makes their Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh shit.
Almost all of it. There's only one other plant, and
I
they
ate
make
some
the
of that.
majority.
Okay. All right. So now,
And I worked with this guy named Lyle. Lyle was really funny, but he was kind of
Lyle
a shithead.
in on this.
Lyle was really good at getting out of work. Like he knew all the places to go and hide.
So tragic. It's all coming together.
And
You go.
he'd just be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then you wouldn't see him for 3 or 4 hours, and it's because he was up in the ceiling, just like taking a nap.
For legal reasons, this is a fictitious fictional story.
Anyways,
reasons.
I
Not denying.
I only worked there for a couple of months, and I kept in touch with a couple people, not Lyle, but I kept in touch with another guy that kept in touch with Lyle.
Did
And
you
one
murder
day-
Lyle?
One day,
Hide him in the air
friend,
ducts.
my friend says, "Did you hear about what happened to Lyle?" And over the years, I've been hearing things like he's been in and out of rehab, has a huge coke addiction, this and that, and in general, he's kind of like this this shithead. Imploding Kittens, thanks for the sub. Thanks, Imploding Kittens. So he's kind of this like reject shithead that's like kind of a drain on his family, and like he was always really good at pushing people's buttons. Like I could totally see him as the guy that in the scene in Step Brothers where they crashed their dad's boat.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to get money out of them for their entertainment company,
Yeah.
and like they show him the footage of his boat being crashed at the end of their music video that they made.
Boats and hoes.
And his dad is just like, I can't believe you just wrecked my boat. And they're like, quit being such a fucking asshole and give us $25,000. Lyle was kind of like that. like he could just pester the shit out of people and make them hate him, and then just be like, why are you being such a fucking dickhead? And just make you want to fucking kill him. And that's what happened. His dad killed him. He was they were at his dad's house, and they were having a screaming match, and his dad had been drinking a lot. And I guess Lyle probably just said something that sent his dad over the edge, and then he walked out. And he's walking out, and he's going to his car. And his dad comes out of the house with a shotgun and shoots him right in the back. And his dad is in prison to this day.
Well, that's hilarious, everybody.
He lost his son and his freedom in the same day. That's fucked up.
He did.
Yep.
And
Kids, listen to your
the
parents.
reason it's funny is because I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. I know you might be living with the regret and shame of murdering your own son for the rest of your life, but I understand. I worked with him. I know exactly what you were dealing with. And I hate to say it, it was probably the best course that Lyle's life could have gone, to be honest. But anyways, that's my fun
Best
story.
case scenario.
So sometimes the best option is to just kill your spawn.
Yeah.
I heard a similar story to this. Well, not a similar story. It was a joke a comedian did. Only for the reason that we're doing this morose. And so the joke goes that it's this guy. The joke goes, it's this guy. And he has his neighbor, about 85 years old, 90 years old. And every morning he gets up, the neighbor gets up, comes over to his house and said, have you seen my wife, Maud? The guy at the door says, sir, your wife, Maud, is dead. And he does this, and the comedian said, he does this every day for a year. And I want to move. And the only reason I don't is the fact that every time I tell him his wife is dead, there's that smile that comes across his face knowing his wife is finally gone.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Cold. That's a cold son bitch right there.
So speaking of murder,
Ice cold. That's the coldest motherfucker.
He's like, have you seen my wife? And it's like, your wife has been dead for 10 years. And he's like, you goddamn right.
Too bad.
anyway, so speaking of murder, my friend, she was living
That's
with.
how we segue.
No, seriously. So this is like on the same kind of level of creepy stories and shit. So my friend, she was living with a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was living with I think their mom. They didn't get along at all, and he owed debts to some loan sharks. And for like 4 or 5 years, they've just been hassling this guy, like finding him at work, finding him at home, finding him, wherever he went on vacation or whatever, like hunting him down all the time and beating the shit out of him because he didn't have the money to pay him. He owed him like $50,000. He just didn't have the money, he used the money to pay off his mom's medical debts. And so for
like you
years,
do in America.
like you do in America. And so for years and years and years, they've been going at this guy. And it's one particular guy. He keeps fucking with them. And it's the guy that initially loaned him the money. And, they are more than just acquaintances. They were previously friends. And so one night, and it was a typical torrential downpour and a really bad thunderstorm. And what happened is they got into an argument, and the mom was home, the girlfriend was home, and my friend, the girlfriend, she's sitting there on the couch, she's just hiding. And then what happened is he bought a pistol to defend himself because he was tired of getting his ass kicked. And he kept saying for months,
Like you do in America.
like you in America, he says, if he comes here and threatens my mom, it's done. I'm going to kill the motherfucker. I'm going to kill him. And she just wrote, okay, sure, okay, sure, okay, sure, okay, whatever. And they would try to get the police involved, yada, yada, yada. Nothing was really going anywhere. And one day he shows up. He shows up at the house, and he goes inside the house, and the mom is home. And so he thinks that this guy's going to go and beat his mom up for money. So he goes in there, and they get into a big argument about this money. And he says, you know what? If it wasn't for my money, your mom would be dead. And if you were a real man, you wouldn't have needed my money. You could actually take care of your mother without help. But you're not a real man. You're a pussy. And so he pulls out the pistol and blows his fucking head right off, directly in front of my girlfriend in the living room, sitting on this couch. And she sees this happen to her right in front of her fucking face. And it was all over the news. It was a big fucking deal. He's in jail and all that stuff. But because this happened, there's no one left to bother the mom about the money her son borrowed, because they learned the hard way. Sometimes you just need to leave people alone.
Yeah.
So that happened. Yeah.
So have you had an experience with that guy's ghost?
No, I haven't. No.
How come that never happens? Like there seems to be like this waiting time that you have to wait before you're allowed to be haunted by somebody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been haunted by well, I don't know about haunted, but I've had odd things happen.
Now, I found a great story. I'm just wondering who's best to read it.
Ooh.
I think it's you.
No, I think this. I haven't got the point for this. I think Chris.
What's the title? What's the title?
Where's it at?
Chris, check. I just messaged you. I just sent you the link. It's
Okay,
actually really. It's actually on this. It transitions in well. It's a theme.
What did you send it to him on?
He sent it to me on Discord. Calm the hell down, everybody.
Calm down. That's
Got here.
fine.
We got,
Okay.
Trying
It
to
drags out.
You're talking behind my back.
It drags out a little bit, but it's.
all right.
I've been reading it. And it's actually really good.
All
You've been
right.
reading while we're doing the podcast? Well, this is not a podcast. This is.
That's why I've been quiet. I've been doing such.
Yeah, he's an educated person. He can read.
Yeah. He can multitask. All right,
Y'all
so this
can
is
read?
a post called the Quiet Name, and this is 3 years old actually.
Tell them that. This is last week.
All right. Anyway, so this is in our No Sleep Reddit/No Sleep. So it starts out with like this: just about the first thing anyone new to the neighborhood learned was to avoid Bud Fillmore. Cantankerous, territorial, and fueled by what seemed to be a deep-seated hatred for just about everything, he was the kind of man that childhood nightmares are made of. Although he only lived there for a few months longer than us, by the time my family moved in across the street from the Fillmore house, his reputation was already firmly established. When other neighbors came by with their cookies and casseroles to welcome us and saw me and my brother, just 9/11, they'd pull my parents aside and offer hushed warnings. Keep them away from that nasty little man across the way. He can't stand children. My son Bill swears Bud tried to run him down in his car, Mr. Crane said.
That
He'll
man's
look
going to be president one day.
for any he yelled at them. He says the most terrible things. My parents think them, but I don't think they quite believed him. My mom especially wasn't fond of gossip, and she tried to take such rumors with a grain of salt until she could make her own decisions. She didn't have to wait long. My older brother Scotty and I were out tossing a baseball back and forth one Saturday morning. Fucking kids. When Scotty tossed it too hard and hard.
Wait, they're not like doing TikToks. They're
Yeah.
not. They're not playing the VRs. They're not doing the texts with their phones. What
Yeah, they're
what
playing.
what decade is this from?
This,
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't know.
prior.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
it's post 9/11, isn't it?
yeah. So it sailed over my head, bounced in the street, and rolled onto the stop at the very edge of Mr. Fillmore's yard. Both of us overheard our neighbor's
This is
warning
the Sandlot.
to even look at the house. Go get it, Liz, Scotty said, nudging my shoulder. But you threw it, I replied. So you missed it. I couldn't reach it. My whining had no effect. He pushed me towards the road, and after checking both ways, I began to creep across towards our ball. I had almost reached it. I just had to take a couple more steps, and it would be within my grasp when the front door of the house flew open. What the hell are you doing? A stout man with a thin graying hair came bursting outside and stomped on his lawn towards me. My ball, I tried to say, pointing to it. You brats throwing things at my house? Think it'd be funny to break a window? No. I glanced over my shoulder to see Scotty, half poised to run inside, and whimpered. Get out of here, Mr. Fillmore snapped. Can I just... No. Before I could react, he picked up the baseball, which had barely been touching his grass, and stormed back inside. The whole front of his house seemed to shake with the force of his slammed door.
Back in the day, the neighbor across the street just like touched you inappropriately, and that's all you had to worry about. And then you got this asshole that that doesn't even bother to give you a rub.
I know.
He just screams at you for no reason, then steals your ball.
Could at least touch the other ones. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was the first of what would be many run-ins with everyone's least favorite neighbor. Our parents tried to talk him down about his behavior, but he just told them to keep their noisy little shits off his lawn and away from his house if he didn't want trouble. Dad thought about calling the police on him, but as Mom became fond of saying, there was no law against being rude, so we were told to just try and be more careful.
Get up my lawn!
He must not have been always such a bull, Mom said over dinner about a month after we moved in. He's married, Dad scoffed the idea. Oh yeah? How do you know? Dolores Devon was by again for a chat, and it came up. Bud wears a ring, and she said she sees Mrs. Fillmore looking out the windows from time to time, but the poor woman never comes outside.
Uh-oh.
She thinks she heard Bud say it was cancer once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor lady, sick and married to that, Dad said. Terrible, isn't it? But it does explain a bit about him. He's just trying to keep things quiet and peaceful around his house. Yeah, sure, Scotty muttered and frowned at him. He's probably very sad and lashes out without meaning to. He's an asshole, Scotty said. Language, Dad said. But yeah, he is. Whatever his reasoning, we all agreed it'd be best to just try and avoid Bud Fillmore. Scotty and I were extra careful to keep all of our toys well within the confines of our own yard when we played outside. You see, this guy, it's working, keeping these kids in line.
I think we've all got one of those.
I also couldn't help but keep a wary eye on the house across the street, just in case he decided to be extra crazy and we had to run for it. That's when I started to notice Mrs. Fillmore.
Ooh.
Almost every time Scotty and I were out and I happened to glance at their house, I'd see a tall, slender figure outlined behind the sheer curtains in one of the windows upstairs. While I couldn't get a very good look at her, I figured it couldn't be anyone but the missus. Mr. Fillmore didn't have anyone else. She never banged on the window or shouted at us like her husband. She'd just stand there watching us. I like to imagine that she was a nice lady, a quiet neighbor who just enjoyed seeing kids at play.
That's what it was. Well, I guess the story's over.
Okay. I remember my mom saying Mrs. Fillmore was sick. I felt sorry for her that she was trapped in her house with her horrible husband. So I tried to be nice and smile and wave once. Just once. Mr. Fillmore appeared on his front stoop and yelled at me for being a pest until I retreated inside. When I peeked out the living room later, Mrs. Fillmore wasn't in her usual spot anymore. Eventually, we got used to Mr. Fillmore glowering at us as he slowly drove past, his short temper and his loud voice. It was such a regular thing that our fear turned to caution, turned to eye-rolling dismissiveness. Bud doesn't own that street. You kids go out and be kids. If he has a problem with it, I'll deal with him.
Yeah, what does he think? He thinks he owns the street?
Yeah. After that, we started to be a little less careful. Oh, this is not going to end well. So be a little less careful with our things and a little more free with our laughter. We lost a few balls to the yard, one or two frisbees, but nothing we really cared too much about. Nothing until Scotty's remote-controlled helicopter. It had been a birthday
Fucking
present.
Scotty, man.
I know. It had been a birthday party present, and we were eager to try it out. As soon as we finished supper, we raced out in the front lawn, where Scotty prepared for the helicopter's first flight.
Comes the twist.
Under my brother's inexperience and clumsy guidance, the helicopter lifted slowly from the ground and staggered.
Did everything cut out for everybody else? Hello? Hello? Oh fuck. Right at the twist. Hold on. I think something changed. It was ghosts. I know it. Hold on. USB device not recognized. Hello? Hello?
Oh, now the audio is coming through.
Hello?
There we go.
Hello? Oh, it's happening again. Do I have my controller plugged in? Sometimes my controller fucks everything up. My Boiz controller, sometimes my computer thinks it's an audio device, and everything switches to that. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Switch to voice meter. Fucking Boiz controller. Where is it? Where's my everything? Oh fuck. Fucking hello?
Check. Was this
Hello?
Was
Hello.
Yes.
Was it even coming
Ghosts
through the
unplugged
entire time?
my speaker.
Damn it,
There we
Chris.
go. Yeah, there we go.
I know, it's
How
on my
long? How long has it been cut out for?
Where did you leave?
So we left off at the helicopter taking off.
All right, so Scotty's flying his helicopter and he fucks it up by getting it lost over the wrong yard at the wrong time.
There you go. Yeah.
So-
Hype it up. Hype it up.
Scotty! I tug at his arm to try and turn it off course, but it only made things worse. The little helicopter took a nosedive straight into the hedges under Mr. Fillmore's bay window. Scotty frantically wriggled the controls, but the helicopter's blade was stuck fast in the thick greenery. As if he'd been waiting for it to slip up, the front door was flung open, and he practically pounced on the toy. "What have I told you?" he
He
bellowed.
fucked the toy? What?
Before we could argue, he had already disappeared back into his house. Upstairs, the curtain fluttered, just so, and I knew Mrs. Fillmore was watching. I wanted to
Cocked the shotgun.
call up to her and ask her to get the helicopter back, but Scotty grabbed my wrist and dragged me from behind to find Mom and Dad. When our parents went over later, he refused to come to the door. "Don't worry, kids. Next time we see him, we'll sit down and have a real discussion about this." That wasn't enough for Scotty, though. I followed him.
Wait,
up to
what
his
the
room.
fuck's the problem with Scotty?
We're going to find out. I followed him up to his room and sat on his end of the bed, and while he paced back and forth, while ranting about how unfair it all was. He was fuming and furious about how he wanted his birthday present back now that he stupidly and irresponsibly crashed into somebody else's property. But,
Takes matters into his
unfair.
own hands.
Anyway, so how do we get it back? I asked. He paused, his gaze sliding to the window in the house beyond.
He racked a shell into his shotgun.
We're going.
We're going hunting, boys.
Yeah, it goes into dad's shit up back.
Hey, this isn't Grand Theft Alien. You can't be in love with the shotgun anymore, okay?
All this simple, stupid plan, with no thought to consequence or punishment, we were going to break into the Fillmore house and get all of our things back. We'll do it when he goes out next. I can figure how to get the lock open. It can't be that hard. Then we just have to find our stuff. What about Mrs. Fillmore? She never leaves. You can distract her or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know, Scotty, I said uneasily. I didn't want to disrupt a poor, sick lady for a few toys. I don't think she's poor.
Yeah, this is why you bring a sandwich. If you bring a sandwich and she shows up, you just throw a sandwich past her down the hall, and then she chases the sandwich.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll be in and out. She probably won't even notice we're there. I doubted that, but I had a hard time saying no to my big brother, who's a fucking idiot. Scotty put his plan into action the very next afternoon. We were playing a game of horse in the driveway.
I just want to say real quick, I called it at the beginning when I said that this is the Sandlot. It's basically the Sandlot, except it doesn't have an angry dog in it.
Yeah, that is true. Mr. Fillmore's garage opened and his car tried to life. He was wearing his customary scowl as he drove by. The moment he turned the corner, Scotty chucked our basketball off to the side and bolted across the street. I checked to see if Mrs. Fillmore was in her window, and when I saw no sign of her, I followed. Scotty's idea of getting the lock open turned out to be using a small rock to break the window pane on the door above the latch. It was something he
This is breaking and entering now.
Fucking idiot kid. Immediately I had images of
This is
flashing
going to be like a felony charge.
handcuffs and my
They're white. They're getting away with it. They're
yeah, good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
Anyway, Scotty said I'll be fine. He can't prove it was us. Everybody hates him. He's
Well,
got a
actually, we
point.
don't know if these kids are white or not.
True.
They had a ball. It went to the front yard and they didn't get shot.
Yeah.
There's more to the story after that.
They're like,
And you're wondering if they're white
Yeah,
or
you're
black.
right. You're right. There's
You're right.
context
They were
clues here.
they were allowed to move into the neighborhood. You're wondering if they're black or white.
And
Really?
the dialogue
They did-
screams white.
They didn't say they didn't say anything about burning crosses in their front yard or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You're right.
The neighbors actually came and talked to them, and the people who was in the house was happy about it. There's a question if they're black or white. Really?
I don't know. The cantankerous old man across the street doesn't seem to like him very much.
exactly.
Hey, look, believe me, if they were black, the whole neighborhood would have been cantankerous.
Yeah. And he used the word mum, not mama.
Anyway. All
There'd be a
right,
whole
so-
bunch of black people saying, "Don't go in there, crazy kids! That old crazy white man."
True. They
What
would
the fuck?
know better not to go in there.
Yeah, they would know
Yeah.
better.
They would
But these
not
are
be
the
going
kids.
in there.
Anyway, back to the story. Back to the story.
Back to the story.
Stupid ass kids. They are now entering Mr. Fillmore's house. I clung to the back of Scotty's shirt as we tiptoed across the kitchen. It was spotless, obsessively so, and smelled of cleaning supplies. Every window had something tacked over it, old blankets and towels, blocking out the bright afternoon sun and casting the room into a gloomy darkness that made the room seem small and oppressive. I swallowed hard and forced myself to follow Scotty. Every room was the same, incredibly clean, but dark. The bay window that I knew he spied on us on had a little hole cut in the heavy velveteen material, just enough for someone to see out of. I could just picture him sitting on his plastic-covered couch, watching us, waiting for us to get too close. It was enough to make me shudder. This guy's killing people. We cleared the whole downstairs pretty quickly, but there was no sign of our things. Shit, Scotty hissed. It must be upstairs. But Mrs. Fillmore, just stay close and quiet, okay? I nodded, too nervous to say anything because I'm stupid. We'd only gotten up a few steps when the floorboards on the second floor creaked. Scotty immediately pressed himself against the wall and motioned for me to do the same. We listened to the soft padding of footsteps crossing from one room to another. Scotty, I whispered, grabbing at his sleeve. Let's get out of here. No, he went too far this time. I'm gonna get my helicopter. Door hinges squeaked from somewhere upstairs and the footsteps stopped. Scotty pulled his arm from me and scampered up the remaining steps. Reluctantly, I went up too. We found a guest bedroom first. It was all muted colors and magazine quality furniture, void of any warmth or personality, like it was set up for show, never intended for use.
What is
At least
magazine quality?
it was a bit brighter up there. The windows only had a few layers of sheer curtains over them, enough to obscure visibility, but still let in light. The second room was obviously Mr. Fillmore's. It was the most lived in looking room of them all, and even then, that was only because there were some pictures hanging in the walls and some personal items on the nightstand. The bed was meticulously made. All the clothing, most of which was masculine, hung neatly in the closet. There weren't even any stray hairs in the brush on the vanity. I wonder how someone could live a cold, lifeless house. There was only one room left upstairs, the one Mrs. Philman must have gone into. Its door stood half open. Scotty and I traded a look, his determined mind silently pleading with him to go. He took a step towards the door. I shook my head and grabbed at the back of his shirt again. He brushed me off and placed the flat of his hand against the door, pushing it open slowly. Inside, the room was nearly empty, except for a large vanity against one wall. A framed wedding picture was on it, and I recognized Mr. Fillmore despite being younger and thinner. In front of the vanity, posed on a tall stool, was a mannequin. She was wearing what I thought of as a 50s housewife dress, with white little pink and green flowers all over it, a string of pearls, and a blonde wig carefully combed back into a bun. Her featureless face was fixed on the mirror in front of her, Scotty's brow wrinkled, showing some confusion. We both heard Mrs. Fillmore walk to this room, but there was no one there. Let's just go. Scotty shifted his weight, obviously torn, and the floorboard beneath his feet groaned. The mannequin's head turned sharply towards us. Scotty leaped back with a yelp, an arm thrown out protectively in front of me. Liz, run! I stumbled back down the hall on legs that didn't want to work. I heard Scotty stomping along with me. We skid at the top of the stairs, and I grabbed the railing to keep from falling. We dart down the hallway, but when I looked back, it was empty. Where'd it go? Something thudded against the ceiling. We both looked up and screamed. The mannequin was crawling, spider
On the ceiling?
over our heads. She wrenched her head completely around, turning her blank face towards us and footed us to the wall. She started to descend, the whole time facing us. I was still screaming when Scotty hooked his arm around my waist and hauled me down the steps. We crashed the landing, tripping over one another, and we could hear the click of fiberglass on wood as she pursued us. I was crying, scrambling on my hands and knees across the floor. My brother was shouting for me to get up to go. He grabbed the back of my shirt and practically threw me down the hall. And then Scotty was shrieking. I spun. The mannequin was crouched in the last step, one arm outstretched. She had her fingers wrapped around Scotty's ankle. They were tightening until his bones started to crunch beneath her grip. He kicked at her with his other leg, but it did nothing. She started to drag him back towards the stairs. Scotty! He looked up at me
Is
and
Scotty
said,
gonna die?
get out of here! Run! Tell everyone what happened. That mannequin. I wanted to stay. I wanted to grab his hand, but pull with all my might and drag him out of that house with me. But he shouted again, run, run, over and over until the words became a garbled mess of howling, terrified cries that chased me out the door we'd come through. It was the last time I ever saw my big brother. What the fuck? You just left him to die?
Wow.
No trace of Scotty was ever found. My parents searched, police searched. There were dogs and special agents.
You had it right the first time.
Money and energy were put into trying to find him, but none of it never mattered. It was as if he had simply vanished. Bud Fillmore wasn't a suspect very long. With no
They never
evidence.
found the mannequin?
Nope, with no evidence and no history of any kind. He was let go. Scotty was dubbed a missing child, reduced to a single box of paperwork that was all too soon moved to the cold case stacks. No one believed me when I told them what happened. Well, yeah, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fillmore
I was gonna say,
belonged
kind of
to his-
ridiculous.
Not what I was expecting.
He kept it after she passed because it reminded him of her. Sometimes he'd move it around, put it in a window, but it wasn't alive. You understand that, right? My therapist was fond of asking. I told her what she wanted to hear, even though I knew it was a lie. The adults preferred it that way. It was easier for everybody. Maybe that's why I never showed anyone the note that had been left taped to our door, typed in anonymous, that just said, I tried to keep you away. I didn't think it would have changed anything. I knew, though, and I never doubted myself or the fact that Scotty sacrificed himself for me. by putting me in a stupid situation.
What now the old man's gonna gloat like, I was trying to keep you away the whole time, you stupid kids. Now your brother's dead. Go fuck yourself. Like,
And up
like
until
if,
Mr.
like
Fillmore
if he was
packed up.
committed to like not having these kids involved, don't you think he'd be like, here's your helicopter, go away?
Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Fillmore packed up and moved a couple years later. I would sit in my brother's room alone, stare out the window at his house that nobody ever bought. I would watch the second-story window, waiting for the telltale dark figure to appear behind the curtains, waiting for the quiet neighbor that didn't exist.
So Scotty
Well-
got mannequin raped. Is that what we're
pretty
getting?
much. Okay, so here's the thing, kids. Don't break in other people's houses,
Yeah.
or you're gonna fucking die.
So what do
Yeah,
you think actually happened to Scotty?
And mannequin rape.
If you break into your neighbor's house, who is who's reclusive and doesn't like children, then you will be murdered by a reanimated mannequin that can defy the laws of physics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what do you think happened though? Like,
Mannequin raped.
did he actually do it and blind her? Was he crazy? Was there even a mannequin?
No, there
Did
probably was.
Scotty even exist? Or was it all in her head?
Scotty didn't exist. It was all in her head. She made the whole thing up.
Scotty
Look,
existed, but neither of the neighbors did, and she has a split
killed them.
personality, and in a fugue state, she murdered her brother Scotty, and buried him somewhere in the forest, but then made up this delusion about a mannequin to cover for it.
She, the one who's in the story, was actually the little girl, and it was the woman that was standing in the front yard. That was actually her. It was a suppressed. It was a suppressed memory.
Yeah.
And
We
she,
know this story. Look, we know this story is bupkis for one particular reason. We're talking about what a 12, 13-year-old boy got in trouble and told his sister, leave. Like, no, come save me.
Yeah.
Come save me.
Get me away
Come
from this
save me.
murderous mannequin. Pry her fiberglass fingers off of my ankle and help me limp my way out of here. But for the love of God, don't leave me behind, or I'll haunt you.
that's such a description. Fiberglass fingers.
What a shit.
What is even that?
Well,
Look, you know what ended up happening? Bud ended up going to Hollywood, sold his story, and Arsenio Hall starred in Mannequin. That is what happened to this story after this. It was whitewashed, and then it was turned into the movie Mannequin with Arsenio Hall and Judd Law.
Tragic. How can a story written by white people be whitewashed?
Oh, it can be happen. It can happen.
Indeed. Look, hold on. Pocahontas was about a 12-year-old girl who was paraded around all of England, and they turned into Sexy Honest and had like Robert Stout. What Robert Pack? What the dude name was from the colony, the colonizer? I don't know what his name was.
Me having sex with people when I was 12. What makes that so different?
Well, it actually happened, but Disney wasn't going to go for that and put that in the movie.
Are you talking about the
movie,
sequel to Pocahontas, where she
not
actually
that
goes
one.
to England?
No, we're talking about the first Pocahontas, when it was hot Pocahontas, when she was wearing a tight skirt and looked like she was wearing heels all the time, and had lipstick on when Native Americans didn't wear lipstick at all.
Do you have proof of this?
Native Americans wear lipstick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want proof of that.
I'm not allowed on the reservation.
Photo evidence, please.
Yeah, Tragic. I'm gonna need 17th century photographic evidence. Thanks.
Well, look, I have no pictures of females back in the day.
You don't have any
Hold
pictures
on.
of females?
Native
You're Mr. Booty. We talking about? You got plenty.
American makeup.
Danger, isn't
I don't
your
know.
girlfriend Native American?
I don't know, Tragic. I see a lot of cases of Native American makeup It was a pretty common thing back then. Just saying.
Pretty
Here,
common thing.
let me just go ahead and share this real quick. I just did quick search for Native American makeup, and as you can see, they have a wide range of colors and styles that was traditional.
Kylie Jenner does not count.
Wait,
It's
which
hot.
one's where's Kylie Jenner?
What's the one in the middle? Top middle. It's hot.
Top middle.
Yeah.
This
Middle
one.
left.
Is that
Milk-
Kylie
milk-
Jenner? I wouldn't
Oh,
know
God.
Kylie Jenner if I saw her. If she ran into me in real life and she was like, "Do you know who I am?" I'd be like, "No."
Jenna or Jennifer?
Lawrence.
No, the one that's a bloke. The one that's a guy.
Look, here is a
Hey,
Native
hey,
American
hey,
woman
hey, hey, hey,
who
hey.
appears to be
Is
wearing lipstick, multicolored
Caitlyn.
lipstick.
What is
Caitlyn,
Obama
bro.
doing?
This is a
What's
clearly,
Obama doing in that picture?
a clearly
No, top
white
left.
woman
Top
here.
left.
It looks like he is attempting to steal a Native American chief's headdress.
What?
He's
No, he's
Trump.
not.
No, he's strangling
It's the
Trump.
medal. It's the Medal of Honor.
No, I think he's trying to steal it. I think we should
Look,
impeach
look.
him.
Look,
You know what? You're
look,
right.
Out of all the
clearly
presidents,
Trump's
out of
hand.
all the presidents that steal stuff from Native
Yeah, there's
Americans,
a-
you think a black woman would have did something?
There's a lot of white girls that are wearing traditional headdresses, which is not okay.
Yeah, that's pretty racist.
That really is. That's not.
That's like
It's not
a
alright.
white person wearing a dashiki.
All right, hey listeners, do me a favor on Halloween. Don't dress up as a fucking Native American. Thanks. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not.
No,
I mean, it's
White
tempting
people
because I
think-
mean, look at their style. It's awesome, but
the style ain't the style. There is a style, so they can go buck wild.
Yeah, I do see quite a bit of makeup here, Tragic. So I think your story is bullshit. Sorry.
yeah.
That's not makeup. That's
No, that still
that's
counts.
the
That
thing.
still counts. That
It
still
is-
counts. So
What?
your
Because-
story.
Because it's
Mustard.
war paint. Because it's
It's a
war paint. What do you
that's
call
the word I'm
makeup?
looking for.
Makeup is war paint.
Yeah, it is.
Not eye paint.
Oh,
Now when they wear
yeah?
eye paint on the football field
that's makeup.
for the
Bro,
Washington football
Yeah.
team,
bro,
No,
get
I've
the
seen
water.
it. I've seen
Bro,
them wear
get the water.
eyeliner and then they have the understripe.
I
as
swear to
well.
God, if I see the Tonka on this stage on this page,
Light Shine Bright says this looks mostly like cultural appropriation makeup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prove somebody wrong here. Okay, I don't need to hear that stuff.
Look, most of it is, and I already pointed that out.
I already talked about this.
We are dropping viewers. Yes. We have lost 6 viewers in the last 5 minutes.
Joe,
That's
when,
Perfect.
Joe,
I'm-
when there's
I'm not
nobody
done
out-
until they're all gone.
Well, I
when
think we
there's nobody
started with like
watching.
30 or 40 and we're down to 50. Oh, 18 now. Okay.
He's going back up, guys.
Look,
Going-
you're changing the outcome by measuring it.
yeah.
I-
So
I-
first off, Joe, no one watches anyway. Secondly,
don't.
I'm surprised anyone had turned up and still here.
Yeah, if you're still paying attention,
Yeah.
I apologize.
let us know. Also, we apologize.
Yeah.
Remember, this is
That's
not
okay.
too far.
I just wanted to say that I did not see that story going that way. I swear I thought there was going to be
Yeah, I thought it was
Like,
just gonna be a ghost.
no, I thought it was going to be Norman Bates, where like just people
Yeah.
like get in there and
Oh,
the dude's
like-
just like put
yeah.
on a dress thinking that his wife is like, I love my wife so much, I'm just going to become her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
but
my
he was
No,
she was
it's
in the
the
window
mannequin.
and he was outside.
no, the mannequin was actually like he put the mannequin outside in his wife's dress, and that's what they see. He put her out in the front yard. Like it wasn't
Oh.
her, but he would dress up in her clothes. And
Well,
they
like
say she
when-
would just stand there; she wouldn't move. See, see, that's the twist.
But
to it.
here's the thing I don't understand. Like, why was he still in the house? Like, were they having relations, the dude and the mannequin?
Yeah.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah,
It's
not
actually quite a
uncommon.
weird thing, actually.
Well, that's the whole premise of a fucking Mannequin and Mannequin 2.
Oh my god.
Never seen this film.
These fucking movies that nobody's ever even heard of.
So, yeah,
You never heard of Mannequin?
you
I've
made it
never-
up. There's no film called Mannequin.
You never heard of You never heard of Mannequin with Arsenio Hall?
Is it a black low budget film?
No, it's not a black. He's just the only person I know.
Yeah, is this a
The
black
white guy-
exploitation film?
No, well, this is one of the movies
Is
back in
Tyler
the day
Perry
where
in
the
it?
black guy.
Is this
No,
a porno?
no, this is not a porno.
Yeah,
It's-
does Tyler Perry play the part of the mannequin, the person in love with
plays
the
his wife?
mannequin, also
plays his wife,
Medea,
Yeah.
and several other characters?
This
His
Tyler
wife's
Perry
actually
came-
Medea.
Fucking himself in a mannequin movie?
this movie came out in the 90s, like late 80s,
I
early
can
90s.
picture it already.
We gotta make this movie. Let's call up Tyler Perry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry. He's just fucking himself.
Like whoever was the lead in this movie, he didn't do anything else after this. He was just caught in bed with a mannequin. There was a mannequin in a mall. It had somebody's spirit in it, like a princess or something like that. Arsenio Hall played the gay black guy in the movie. This was the movie that they had out back in the day.
I'm looking up a movie called what is it? Mannequin.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
Mannequin.
yeah, that's.
And you're telling me
Mannequin.
that there was a sequel to Mannequin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did it have
There
all
was-
of the same
Arsenio
characters
Hall
in it?
is not
Hell
in
no.
the movie. Arsenio Hall is not in the movie. Tragic.
It had to be Mannequin 2 then.
I do
Yeah,
remember a film
Arsenio
where there
Hall
was
sounds like a Mannequin 2 type
It's the
cast.
same. It's the same cast.
Yeah, I do remember
Is that
some
the-
weird low budget horror film where
It was not
His
a horror
family-
movie. This
he
was
lo-
a
no,
rom-com.
No, it sounds like there was. I remember seeing it before advert.
There's a
The
pink
trailer, like he had his whole family died, and then he dressed up all his family in his house, his home, and they would move him around.
Andrew McCarthy, not whoever
Like-
you're talking about. Yeah, Arsenio Hall is not in these movies. Sorry.
No, for
Yeah,
tragic.
Coffee Grinder knows.
Yeah.
Original
It's,
star Andrew McCarthy.
Oh, people are coming back.
We got him back with the mannequin talk.
Oh,
So
let's-
tragic. What's?
Joe, listen to me. All right, look. So back in the day, I was running a TV station online because we got shut down and we had to go online. And the producer of the station, when I did shows and stuff, he would get on the walkie-talkie and it would be on the desk where the presenter was, and he would say, "We got 5 viewers. Oh no, now we got 4 viewers. You need to get funnier. Oh, now we got 6 viewers." I don't really ever want to deal with that again. So if you could not
Yeah,
call out.
Look,
I've,
it worked.
I've never looked at the numbers.
We got 3
If
more
we
viewers.
look at numbers, Joe, we're going to be very depressed people.
They need to hear us. We must be heard.
They're waiting for the playback, Joe.
Okay?
No, they're
Joe,
waiting for GTA to start.
Yeah. Like, why haven't they started playing GTA yet?
waiting for GTA.
Oh, you've got to make the thumbnail a GTA thumbnail. Me and Russ get back
Oh,
together. The band is back. The
Oh.
band is back.
Also, Chad is here, and Hike and TG buried the hatchet.
Christine, yep.
I can easily bury that.
I was Hike made a post somewhere. It might have been on Facebook. I can't remember where, but I looked in the comments of the post. It was just a post like, oh yeah, he took a picture. He took a selfie with his neighbors because he was playing with his remote control airplane, and it crashed in their yard. And they came out and met him, and he made new friends with them. And he's just like, I'm so glad to meet my new neighbors. They're really awesome, and they look like they're having a great time. And like 3 comments down is a comment that's like, why don't you make videos of TG anymore? And it's like, it's been like 5 fucking years. Get over it.
Oh, that's
Who have you seen TG play any game with in the last 5 years other than Samara?
What's up, guys? It's Single Gamer here.
What's up, guys? Typical gamer here. I'm too good for all my friends. I just play games with myself now. Let's look at a GTA mod. It's like the 400th goddamn mod I've made a video about. Yo, let's go. Let's get into this.
What's up, guys? Typical modder here. No one's around. I'm all alone by myself, and I'm horribly depressed. Here's a mod.
No, it's like Louis Caliber that he went viral that one time because somebody said make a video. It's like, dude, they're on their schedule. If you want to enjoy them. They're not there as your beck and call. You know, like, look, when they do something, they'll do something.
Do something, they'll do something. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see a comment like that, I would spend my whole life telling people like this what actually happened, and never. They would still just ask right after I told them and be like, "But why?" But like, Hike and TG, they ain't friends no more. They don't talk.
They don't like each other. Obviously, if they did, they'd still be making videos.
Yeah.
Together.
TG makes videos by himself because he decided he doesn't give a shit about anyone else. And he bought a Lamborghini and fired his editor. Fuck!
All right.
Is it a coincidence that
he's a
Lamborghini Huracan's insurance is $3,000 a month?
Great guy.
And then a great way to be able to afford insurance like that is to fire your editor, which costs you $3,000 a month.
He's a great guy, though.
He actually is.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's an okay guy with a Lamborghini and a fired editor.
But fuck him. I mean, he's a good guy.
I could have made you some good videos.
We could have been something. Don't you understand?
Now introducing special guest, Typical Gamer.
You could have been somebody. You could have been somebody. You could have been a contender. Instead of the Typical Gamer you are. And I'll boom.
God, fuck. He never took me to any things. I had cameras. I could have filmed him. Instead, he had Nico do it. Do it.
Have you got any old content that he didn't use that you've got?
Yeah. You know those GTA cinematic videos that were like stunt and skit videos that are like to music and stuff without any voice or anything.
What was it? It was like HOTS, was it?
Bunnies.
Hot.
Bunnies.
Yeah, I know those.
The bunnies. I made 6 of them. Well, I originally made those for TG, and he never used them. And after we were done, I was like, so I noticed you haven't uploaded these. Do you plan on using them? Because I'd love to upload them. I want people to see the thing that each of those took like a month to do.
Wow.
And it's like, I'd like somebody to see them at least. And he never got back to me. So I was like, well, fuck you. Double middle fingers. And I just uploaded them.
I've had to do that many times to multiple clients.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, all right? Remember, kids, the internet, it's just like the real world. It's a tough place out there. People are going to fuck you over. But at the end of the day, you're going to get through it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
I have a story that I just saw before this got together, and I'm gonna fuck it up. Do you want to hear me fuck up a story?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Put some classic tragic character in it. Show the people. Become Shakespeare.
The story.
Welcome to Tragic Corner. Listen to the sultry sounds of tragic reading classic literature.
Welcome to Tragic Tales. The story begins.
That's perfect.
The story begins in my later years as The story begins in my later years. Sorry for fucking this up at the beginning. The story begins in my later years as I regale on the story my dad told me that there are certain rules I had to pay attention to for my life from the age of 15 to 20, those specific years. I didn't understand why I had to pay attention to them, but I had to. Or there'd be serious consequences. This I did not understand until I broke a rule.
Uh-oh.
When I was about 14 years old, I was going on about my business, and my dad looks at me one day, very sternly. And I didn't understand. And he said, you know what? Later tonight, we're going to have to have a discussion about a list you're going to get tomorrow. All right. Don't blow me off. Don't blow me off. We're going to have the discussion. I looked surprised because really, my dad is a really noble guy, ne'er do well, but this time he was serious. Kind of blew him off, but I knew something was different. So the
When
next
Tragic
day,
tells a story like this, I truly believe that this happened to Tragic.
so the next day, I get up and I look around my room, and there's a note. This is a piece of paper, not even a note. There's a piece of paper on the side of my bed. Didn't pay attention to it. It was a very old piece of paper.
Oh, fuck, it's Slenderman.
I walked down to breakfast. I was wondering where the breakfast was at. Mom was cooking on the stove, and Dad's like, did you get the note? What note? I didn't get a note. Well, usually there's a note you're supposed to be getting right about now. Dad, I thought you would write it. No, I wouldn't be writing you a letter. It would come to you. Specifically to you. Did you see anything around your room? No, I didn't. All right, stay right here. I'm gonna go to your room and see if it's there. I sit down, start breakfast, and my dad goes up, rumbles in my room, and he comes down with a note. Son, it's very important that you read this letter. Read everything off of it, because I need you to know what's on that list. But can I read it later? No. Today is your 15th birthday, and you need to read this list. Okay. So we started reading the list together. The list contained several things that had to be done every day between my years of 15 years old and 20. First thing that was on the list, make sure that everything in your room is okay and nothing is out of place when you get up in the morning. Second thing on the list, you're going to go out and you're going to hear somebody calling your name. Never answer. And if you feel that you need to get away, take 5 minutes, go into a building, stay there for 5 minutes until the voices stop. Then go ahead about your way. Before you leave the house, the third thing on the list, before you leave the house, make sure every window is open before you leave. Very important that you do this. Number 4, when you get back in the evening, make sure that the windows are closed before you start the rest of your day. Number 5 on the list, only drink tap water after 8 o'clock. It's very important that you understand this. You cannot imbibe any alcohol or anything else, and eat no food after 8 o'clock.
Or else you turn into a gremlin.
I'm trying to figure out what was on this. I remember most of the story. Let me figure out what else is on the list. Oh, yeah. There's
Wait,
going
is
to
this
be a
from
man.
memory?
Yes, this is from memory. This is from memory because I just heard this like 20 minutes before this whole thing started. Number 8 on the list. There will be a man on the corner. You make sure you give him a quarter. Give it to him, turn around, and walk away. Is that everything on the list, son? Yeah. You make sure you know everything on that list, right? Yeah, I've got it. It's important that you do this. Why? Well, let me tell you why. Our family is cursed. Long time ago, about 100 years back, there was a boy, brash, very brash. He thought he knew everything about the world, but he didn't really know anything. He was your great ancestor. He needed a little bit of money, so he started robbing people around the town. He got bold, and there was a house out on the outskirts of town. He decided to rob that house. There was an old lady in that house. Nobody messed with her. Said that she was a witch. But you couldn't tell this boy nothing. He went in that house and robbed that old lady. He didn't get caught. He took everything in the house that he could and went on about his business for the rest of the day trying to sell off his goods. Before he did that, he went to the local club. He let him in and told his friends what he had done. His friends looked at him strange, like, "Are you crazy, son? Why would you do that? You know that old lady's a witch." "She's not a witch. I got nothing to worry about."
Oh, you can't
"Son,
rob a witch.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
can't do that,
that's bad idea.
son.
Bad.
Look, you get away from me right now." And all his friends dispersed from him at a time. He's like, "I don't know what's going on. All it is a couple of things from an old lady that's not going to really mess up, and I get paid off of it." So he decided to leave from out there and go out to the pawn shop to sell his goods. And he's like, the pawn shop owner went, "Okay, what do you have there?" He showed him his wares. The pawn shop owner said, "Where did you get these from?" The boy was reluctant at first, but he ended up telling him that he stole it from that old lady on the outskirts of town. The pawn shop owner gathered everything up, put everything back in the bag and gave him to him and said, "You get out of here. You get out of here right now.
Wait,
I
so
don't
he
want
so
no
he
pawn."
admitted to his crimes to the pawn shop owner?
Well, it was a pawn shop owner. He
The pawn
didn't
shop
care.
owner's not supposed to ask, and you're not supposed to tell him. You're just like, I found it somewhere, or
Yeah, what kind of
this
wait?
was
So you're trying to
this is
tell
my
me
aunt's stuff. I got it from my aunt. My aunt died. I inherited this.
This
Or
is
yeah,
like,
an honest
close-
pawn shop owner? What
this-
bullshit is this?
this is closer to the 1800s than it is the 1900s. Remember, this is 100 years back.
Yeah.
So the boy didn't know what to do. The boy didn't know what to do. Took his stuff, went home, wrapped the satchel up and put it up on his bed, and went down for the night. But he didn't settle down all the way, because at the corner of his eye, as night came to his bedroom, so did a stranger. Eyes, a long nose, and a parched mouth, looking dead at him as he laid in the bed. He did not move. Of course, somebody else had to tell this tale, because after that night, when he was visited by that stranger, that boy was never seen again. Those friends he made down in the club, gone. Nothing but a memory.
then how did he tell the story?
Yeah, tragic.
This was passed down from all generations of this family. We're going to get to that part of the story in a minute. The pawn shop owner, somebody else took stead of that because he was gone as well. Everybody had anything to do with that boy was gone, except for his parents, who told this story to the next generation that came along. And they knew to tell every generation afterwards about what happened. And that's when the notes came. Every boy in that family got a list that they had to do Sometimes it was long, sometimes it was short. It was thought that this note, this list that every boy in his family got was a god damn it, every story, every list that every male member in this family got was a precautionary tale of what not to do to live a good life.
You know,
The
Right.
son,
this is
this
awfully sexist that it's only given to the boys. What about the girls?
I'm just about to get there.
Oh.
The son asked the father, "Well, why only the boys?" Dad replies back to the son, "Well, you know, males, they tend to be rule breakers. They need to be kept in line a lot harder than the females. Females know what to do. They pay attention to the rules.
That's
Sexist.
just as sexist.
So
This
you pay
witch
attention."
is not woke.
And it was a boy. It was a male member of our family that robbed from that witch. I understood what my dad was trying to tell me. Didn't really understand the list, but I did what he said, and I did everything on that list. Now here I am of age. Here I am of age, on my own, outside of town, living my own life. Still paying attention to the list until one day. One day I got up late for work, and I had to leave very quickly. Walked downstairs, grabbed my stuff, and went out the door. Did not open the windows as I left.
Yeah, you
As
gotta
I'm
do
leaving,
that.
as I'm heading to work, I hear people calling my name. Louder and louder it got. Yet I was afraid to turn around and see who was calling my name.
I was driving in the opposite lane against traffic. Couldn't figure out why they were calling my name. You see, I still had the sun reflector in my windshield, so I couldn't see where I was going.
And
I
I
was
was in
also
quite a hurry.
dragging a gas pump behind my car.
I was dying.
James
galore.
Esposito said that I feel like Tragic is in a smoking jacket, an aviator cap, sitting in a chair near a fire with brandy.
Well, that's like I got vodka in front of me right now, but I'm still.
That's pretty fucking true. Pretty
Okay,
fucking
so they're calling his name, or
Calling
your
Finally.
name rather.
I finally get to work, but I'm pretty good with the boss there, and I say I have to return home for a bit. Boss said, "All right, go ahead. You hurry on back now. I'll rush on home." Tarried not a little bit. Opened every window in the house, and the smell that I smelled as I entered the house dissipated, because it was a rancid smell, and it went opening up. Now, mind you, I don't know whether because the windows were closed or because I had a visitor there, because the windows were closed. But I made sure I paid attention to that list, and I had those windows open. Went on to work, went on back to work, and finished my day. After the day was over with, went on home and poured me a drink. It was getting kind of late, but then I look up at the clock. 8:30 it is. Windows closed, but yet I have this drink in my hand, hearing my name being called.
And
Scene.
Wait, is this a screenplay you've been writing?
No,
Are you trying to sell us on your Netflix show?
I'm not buying.
Was that episode 1 of your Netflix series?
my one-man show? No, it's not. No, this is the story that I saw.
Yeah.
I end up hearing, like I said, right before all this got started today.
Yeah.
So I just
Okay.
this is what I wanted to contribute to today's festivities.
So this is going to be Danger's segment now, the last segment. Danger's going to read this lovely thing I sent him.
Actually, I'd love to do that, but I actually
Fine.
have a story to tell.
You've already got one. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little story. It's called The Smiling Man.
Oh, I'm terrified.
All right, hold on. I gotta get myself prepared for this
Oh.
Getting a character. Full character.
because
Full Chumilani style. Chumilani.
I assure you, the creep levels of this story are quite high.
Loving it already.
About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the U.S. That's how you know that this story is legit. It's in major city, United States.
Detail is key.
I've always been a night person, so I'd often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid she was white. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all of that changed in just a few minutes of one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, and I was walking near a police patrolled park, quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, there was the silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass by me. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky, and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still, until I could make out his face. His eyes were wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me, but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had just been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds. So it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time, staring at him, and then he started to move toward me again. He took giant, exaggerated tiptoe steps as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone, except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point, I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or my cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me.
Oh, what an idiot.
And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling his smile, still looking to the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. But what came out was a whimper. What? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around very slowly and started dance-walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go until he was far enough away to almost be out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off the side of the road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that night, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. And that's a very, very scary thing to see.
Well,
The
what
end.
a happy ending.
Well, he was smiling, that's for sure.
See? Well, thanks for the happy story, Danger.
He was very happy. That's the
Happy
story.
man. That's a happy man and I.
All he wanted to do was ask for directions to the dance studio.
Do you know what the dance studio is? That's funny.
That's they're good.
It's a good one.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah,
Terrifying. Sorry. Drop
Mm.
some.
that was. I heard that story like 9 years ago, and
Yeah.
I think about it a lot more often than I think it has the right to be thought about.
That's not good. Are you haunted by the smiling man?
I got to admit that the idea of somebody who of this thing that just smiles and doesn't really do anything is far more terrifying than like the ceiling crawling mannequin that like kills my brother.
Yeah, that was really weird. I don't get that one.
Like-
But yeah,
like-
the smiling is creepy.
Like I think
There's
that's like
a-
the difference between like modern horror movies where they like
Hmm.
they have all the special effects, so like they're like, this is the Babadook. Here it is, scene one.
There,
But then like,
there is another story.
You go back and you watch like The Haunting of Hill House, like the original like 1940s movie, and like it's still insanely terrifying, even though they have no special effects and they show nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is actually an episode of the Great Illuminati where they talk about this individual that has this very creepy, wide smile, like almost like a Cheshire cat from like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing with this story.
Yeah, and there's someone out there. Someone encountered this individual.
This person exists, is what you're saying.
Yes.
This person exists, and he's still out there. And any one of us could run into that person. And
he's coming for you.
No
right?
one knows what he wants.
Nope.
He's out front. He's waiting for you to go for your walk.
Yeah, it's like he could be anywhere. So thank you for that. Thank you for that information. That this is confirmed. He exists, and he's out there terrorizing people to this day. Thank you.
There's been a few sightings.
What a fantastic podcast.
This is not a podcast. This is a get together. This is not a podcast yet.
Yeah, what was the name? The worst podcast.
The
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like dumpster fire.
Oh.
I think
tragic.
I think it really explains a lot.
The dumpster files.
Oh yeah, the dumpster.
The dumpster files. That's the one.
But what if we have no files?
We will have files. We have files. We have fire. We have the whole shebang bang.
If not, we'll make our own story next time. We'll add. Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna write creepypastas for the next episode?
I'm not doing that.
No. We take it in turns of telling us.
Well, next week is not going to be. Well, next week is not going to be creepypasta. What is going to be the topic for next week when we get together?
Well,
you have to wait. No. You have to wait and find out.
Well, yeah.
What we do?
So what you're saying is.
No, they do.
Because I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that's what we did this week.
Yeah, I
but
tried
next
to have
week,
a plan. But I've planned better.
Next week it'll be a whole new adventure of happiness.
And we want to hear your stories. That's what we want to hear. Your experience.
Oh yeah,
share them.
You should
share
send
them.
us your ghost stories.
I haven't had any.
Post them in Discord at Awesemo Joe.
Yeah, and I will
send all of your messages to Awesemo Joe.
No direct messages. Just tag me in the
DM. Okay. Awesemo Joe.
Add him on Facebook.
Demand your nudes.
At Danger Instagram, TikTok.
Knock on his front door and go to Joe's house. Knock on his front door. Tell him your story.
Just mail it. Haven't you got what is it? A shipping address that you can send to that, Danger?
Wait, what?
No.
I wasn't paying attention.
You got a PO box, haven't you? We can all send it there.
I had a PO box like when I lived in New York. You could send it there, but I won't get it.
Look, send all your queries to the old PO box that Danger used to have, and I'm sure we'll find them eventually.
Yeah, but yeah, send them in the Discord, and we're interested to hear your stories, UFOs, whatever ghostly experiences, unexplained phenomena.
You know, I feel like I missed out on a lot of like UFO and ghost story type stuff because I was busy playing video games.
You missed out on ghost stories?
But like my dad has a UFO story, and I don't know because my dad kind of like pulled my leg a lot. He told me stories that like when I was in the first grade, I was riding my bike. And he said that I rode my bike so fast that my hair caught on fire, because he was trying to get me excited. He was trying to be like, and then he'd pull on a piece of my hair and he'd be like, "Look, it's all burned and singed." And I'd spend the whole night like looking in the mirror, like, yeah, it does look burned. and then I'd go to school, and I had like an absolute shithead for a first grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Rose, and if I ran into her in my adult life, she'd probably be like 70 years old now. I would beat the shit out of Mrs. Rose. I would fuck her up because I would get up in front of class during show and tell, and I didn't have anything to show because I was fucking poor. But man, I had so many stories because my dad fucking lied to me. He told me lies. So I'd get up there and I'd be like, so I was riding my bike and I went so fast that my hair caught on fire. And she's like, bullshit! Show us where it caught on fire. And then I'd be like, I think like right here. And she's like, your hair didn't catch on fire. Everybody point and laugh at him, kids. And then they'd point and laugh. And I'm like, oh.
You know, I think it sounds like you have deep-seated father issues. I think this is just dad.
Because he just fucked with me endlessly.
What was this UFO story?
There was a time where there was a bat in the house, or maybe there wasn't. I don't know. Because my dad just started swinging a tennis racket around. He's like, it's coming for us. He's just swinging around, and he opens up the microwave, and he slams it shut, and he hits turns the microwave on. He's like, I got it. And he pulls it out, and it's just like this blackened, melted stuff, which I would later learn was just butter with food coloring in it. And he's like, I just microwaved that bat, and it melted. So then I told that fucking story, and Mrs. Rose was like, all your stories are lies. Kids, you should all point and laugh and not be friends with this kid.
But Danger, the thing is, though, we all know that you have gained skills right now to make sure no one laughs at you.
Yeah,
it's a prankster. He's the ultimate troll. I love it.
So then, there was a time where I lived in a cabin in the woods, so like we had a really long drive to the woods to get to our cabin, and often there'd be like trees in the road, and I went outside with my dad to move a tree, and it wasn't like a full size like fucking oak motherfucker, but like it was a good 4 or 5 inches around, and it was across the road, and I felt pretty proud of the fact that I helped my dad move a tree. So I get up in front of the class during show and tell, and I'm like, I lifted a tree. And Mrs. Rose is like, bullshit! Hey, you're the biggest liar in this whole class. Kids, look at this kid. He thinks he lifted a tree. What a fucking moron. And everybody laughed at me. And I'm like, it's true. And then she's like, yeah, how big was it? I'm like, well, it was kind of like this big. She's like, see, you're already backpedaling, you piece of shit liar.
My God.
And they trained this man with a gun.
So, if anybody wants to, maybe, let's just keep danger away from elementary school. Let's just do that. And
Mrs. Rose, if you're out there, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to come into your house. I'm going to break your goddamn legs. How about that, Mrs. Rose? We're going to Pound Town. I'm gonna.
I don't know if your girlfriend's gonna be okay with that.
She'll understand.
That's without consent, Danger.
So yeah, I feel like a lot of my social anxiety stems from first
lied
grade.
To.
First grade, because she was such a piece of shit. I fucking hate that bitch.
Danger went from I'm gonna fuck you up to skipping the up. That wasn't cool.
He's gonna find the 70-year-old woman and fuck her to death.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Let's take it out of context.
You did.
No, that's out of context.
We're
You
gonna
said
edit
you're
that.
gonna take her to Pound Town. What are we
Pound.
supposed to take from that?
Oh,
What am I supposed to say? I'm going to take her to Punch City?
yeah.
Pound
You
so
want
you don't punch somebody.
You want some Hawaiian punch?
But yeah, I think first grade is when all the kids decided that they didn't want to be friends with me.
That's when all the trouble started.
Yeah,
Great,
that's
I
when it
found out I had a
started.
peanut allergy. 'Cause I kept giving us peanuts.
Gotta be starting something. Starting
Really
So, yeah.
Beat it, beat it, beat it.
Well, I think that was a
Beat
good
that woman
start.
to death. Beat that
Yeah,
bitch
you took
death.
something innocent like beating an old woman to death and you made it perverted.
Actually, you know what? You know what's really here? You know what? You just reminded me of some. When I was in first grade, my teacher would give us peanuts, whole peanuts as treats, and this was
What?
like
That's highly
That's a
risky.
anyway. So
That's a shitty treat, by the way. Like, here's a
how I
peanut.
that's how I learned I was kind of allergic to peanuts because every time I ate a peanut, I ended up having to go to the bathroom shitting myself.
Wait,
Literally, I no crap. They were like, "Why do you keep pooping your pants?" I'm like, "Cause every time she gives me a peanut, I poop, and it hurts a lot, and it's really runny, and I burp."
Violent diarrhea. Oh god!
Yeah, so
It's so nutty.
Oh, god.
crunch, crunch, crunch.
I cannot eat whole nuts. I can eat like creamy peanut butter, but I cannot eat a whole nut. If I eat a whole nut, I'll shit myself.
You can't eat like M&M's, like peanut M&M's.
That's good to know.
No, yeah. Anything with a whole nut in it, can't eat it. So thanks, Miss Jenkins, for giving me diarrhea. I appreciate it.
You know,
Was
I mean-
it salted nuts? Did you have salted nuts in your mouth when you were in first grade?
Oh dear. Oh,
Can I answer that question?
Wait, what?
So them
What?
salty chocolate balls.
so are there any specific nuts that are worse than other nuts?
So for me, like
Macadamia.
Walnuts.
almonds and peanuts are really bad, and then walnuts, not the best, and then slowly and surely it just kind of goes away.
Pistachio.
Mostly peanuts, walnuts, almonds, and cashews. Those all give me problems.
Yeah. Did you know
If
that
I
a
had
peanut is actually not actually a nut? It's a legume.
Yeah. If I had some nuts on the wall,
Suck the
what
life
would you
out
call
of
that? If I had some nuts on the wall, what would you call that?
Walnuts.
If I had some nuts on my chest, what would you call that?
I'd call that a nice fun nut.
Check nuts.
If I had some nuts on my chin, what would you call that?
Chin nuts.
A good night.
Hell no, you call that you having a dick in your mouth. Chicky check, microphone check, 1, chicky check, microphone check, 2, chicky check, microphone
A little Bow
check,
Wow
3,
Wow reference.
something down to the DRE, now check me out.
Yeah.
That is way funnier, Chris, than anybody else.
You haven't heard those lyrics before? It's what all the kids are listening to these days. Get them nuts on them walls. Get your nuts on the wall.
Wow. That really happened. Captain Boonat's just like WTF. Well, I feel like we've all learned a lot about each other tonight.
Too much.
You know what? We should wind this thing down, but I kind of want to tease a little bit of what's in the store on my very new channel, Danger Plays VR, but not to be confused with my old channel, which was also called Danger Plays VR. But I actually made a new channel because I'm tired of being blacklisted by YouTube. So I'm going to censor all my swears so that they don't fuck me in the ass again. But I don't know if you've previewed any of the footage, Chris, but
I was able to look at it like 5 minutes before I had to run out the house, but I did see some funny stuff in there.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's highlights include just me generally just screaming at children, hitting them with some hard truths about life. I engage in a rap battle with a 12-year-old, where I claim to have had sex with his mother. Tell him about all the ways that I've had sex with his mother, and then I reveal at the end that I am his father, and then I throw the microphone in his face and end it with the words "generational diss, bitch." And
this is Chorionicles episode 3, isn't it?
There was 3 episodes. There was almost 4, except the 4th footage was way too racist.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
So is the channel live yet?
It is. There's nothing on it.
Well, maybe you should put a link to that channel in the stream.
Yeah, maybe
it keeps getting mixed with the old new.
Yeah. Let me just find it real quick.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm currently signed into my other Danger Plays VR account.
Yeah, they've already blacklisted you already.
Yeah. Well, actually, I renamed my original account to Danger Plays, so it's not limited to VR.
No, well, that's good. Thank God.
All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm almost there.
We're almost there.
I've got the very memorable address of youtube.com/UCAORLKZK9560BVHW. So if you just enter that into your search criteria. Here I'm posting the link. Everybody follow. Give me a sub. I want to get to 1 million subs with no content.
It's 1,000 subs. That's their soul.
Yeah.
Drop it in Discord.
It'll be nice to gain subscribers instead of lose 200 of them every month, which is what my life currently is like.
Wow. Okay.
That's happy news.
Remember
okay.
Remember when I had 49,000 subscribers? I'm down to 44 now.
All that hard work going to something.
We're gonna change that. It's gonna be okay.
Well, we're gonna change that by starting over again.
We're gonna have 50,000 subscribers in the new channel by next week. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you then.
Yeah. If I get 50,000 subscribers next week, I'll buy everybody a Lambo.
If we get 50,000 subs by next week, I'll dye my hair pink, and you can call me Sally.
If we get 50,000 subscribers by next week,
Tradger will get good internet.
He's got that already.
Honestly,
we completed that.
If I was doing anything on YouTube that made any amount of money right now, I would so badly want to save up money to get Tragic a VR headset so that he can join in our shenanigans.
Unlike Chris's. What was it? Is it not Walmart's? It's
Sam's.
no,
Sam's Club.
Sam's Sub.
Well, you got the Gear VR.
No. He's got the He's got the Fruit Loops box in his his phone at the end of it.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Nope, that's not it at all.
Empty box of Cheerios.
Yeah. So what I did is I taped a box of Cheerios to my head, and then I taped the phone to it, and then I dropped the phone, and it broke in half. It was a good morning.
No, you got to line it full of mirror tape inside, like foil tape.
Yeah,
So you get the good reflection. So you get the all angles. That's the purpose of VR.
Yeah.
Yes. Samsung Gear VR. I played it for the first time today. It was really cool. I had to take it off after a few minutes, but it really was amazing. I was like, "Wow, dude, bring it out, man! It's like a fish in the face."
Oh yeah, and Bearded Muffin said that if we have a plan, he could try to join, and I think that'd be great. This week I recorded with Moto Brado and Crazy Mixed Up Pup when we did that on Wednesday afternoon, and we started like 3:30, which I'd be fine with going earlier if anyone was around earlier, but it turned out pretty well. I pretty much recorded for the entirety that my battery allowed me to.
Can't you have it on charge whilst doing it?
I could, yeah. I'd have to carry around a battery though, and then plug it in.
No, just have a big long power cable.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the Quest, which is having an unwired experience.
Or you get a power bank and you have it in your back pocket whilst you're doing it.
Wireless and easy. Just calm down.
Yeah, but you can't have that as a reason like, oh no, the battery's about to die, I gotta end the stream. And,
Yeah, Crazy Mixed Up Pup, he died in the middle of his trial. Oh, by the way, we put Crazy Mixed Up Pup on trial, and Moto Brado was his attorney.
Oh, that's not going well.
Who was the executioner?
Well, I was the judge, which
same thing.
Yeah, by judge rules, I'm judge, jury, and executioner. So, but yeah, his battery died, and he just said in the chat that he got an external battery pack. So hopefully he'll last longer next time.
Well,
that's what she said.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Moto Brado was the defense attorney, but he was also the prosecuting attorney.
Ooh, what? Wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait,
so
what?
he made a really good opening argument, and then I made him attack his own argument by making him the prosecutor.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I'm excited to come.
And he knocked it out of the park. If you ever need a lawyer, Moto Prado, he will both defend you and prosecute you.
So you make sure your ass is going to be in and out of jail
at the same time.
Yeah. So when are you gonna drop it? When's it gonna drop?
Yeah, I guess
tomorrow, midweek.
Yeah, Chris, by tomorrow.
I wasn't gonna say anything,
Eat dinner first. Goddamn, Joe, chill out.
Yeah, so
is it processing as we speak?
So Chris is gonna do a rough pass, and then he'll pass it off to me, and I'll do some wizardry, and yeah, I'm hoping by the end of next week.
Should be
I
good.
have hopes. Yeah.
We can work on it. So
why is it taking so long? You did this midweek.
Jesus Christ, Joe! I had shit to do. All right.
It's like the end of the week already.
Joe, look, it's not like I'm paying him for this.
Here, Joe. All right, buddy.
Someone can't do their job already. Once again, I gotta do everyone's job.
Damn.
Moto Brado's like, it's been 2 whole days.
Oh yeah. It's Saturday for me already. I'm already ahead of you. Come on.
Well, all right. Well, I
want a 24-hour turnaround.
I think that's a good place to leave off.
That's right. Sorry, folks. I will get them in check this week. Next week will be much better. Tragic will have some fantastic merchandise for you next week.
Yeah, get that merchandise out there. Also, make a
Tell
website
the black man what to do.
and a billing platform.
Yeah, Chris is already working on the website as we speak.
I don't even know how to make a website.
You'll be able to purchase through. What was the website again, Chris?
It's gofuckjoe.com.
I'm sorry for my disgruntled employee. We'll have to, he will be on a suspension, and he will be not here next week. So, folks.
I'll see you.
All right, thanks
Oh,
for
my
listening. Let us know
Yeah,
if you enjoyed this. As far as I can tell, people stayed engaged right till the end, which is, that's if this were GTA, I'd still be seeing comments from the first 20 minutes of the video up on screen. So as far as I can tell, I think everything's going pretty well.
So if you've got any snippets of the podcast you want to put together that was funny, then tweet them to @snackfist explosion.
Snack fudge.
Yeah, or my actual Twitter account, Danger Plays VR.
At Snackfish.
Yeah.
Snackfish.
That's actually Joe. That's actually somebody else's.
And, go ahead and send them to them.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, send your stories, whatever, in the Discord. We want to hear them so we can talk about.
Yeah, I'd love
Next
to
week.
pick apart everybody's childhood trauma.
I have a think that Sir Panda might have something interesting, or
Yeah.
a couple of those other people. Yeah. Crazy mixed up pup. Yep, that'd be interesting.
Sunday,
Maybe.
Sunday will be on the stream next week. Sunday's on the
Yeah. Sunday, yes, and yes, special guest Christine is due to arrive.
What?
I've reached out to people. That they're excited to come on. I've got a long list.
Wow.
Honestly, guys, I've been working. I've been working hard.
You've been busy.
Everyone who has access to the Discord, send us picture of your knees.
Yep.
We need picture of your knees so we can talk about knees in the next.
Yep.
We're talking about knees?
Feet. Feet is going to be the special subject.
No. See, you have to understand. Our friend Octoclops. Octoclops. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm hoping to get the name right. He followed me on Instagram, and I was on a podcast with him way back in 2020, 2019, and the whole thing diverged into nothing but feet porn. The entire thing. We
you on it?
About
no.
Yes. It was nothing but feet porn. We talked about feet the entire time. I taught these kids, mind you, they're 20-year-old guys. I taught these kids about feet cleavage. And believe me, their life has not been the same. Yes.
All right, well, next episode, we're going to talk about feet cleavage.
No, we're not.
I've got to Google this.
Send us all your stories about feet cleavage. Where were you when you discovered what feet cleavage was? I was sitting here in the middle of a podcast with people watching my face. Where were you?
I said knees. Y'all brought up feet cleavage.
Okay. We need to do like a reaction video as well.
See you next week.
No, we just.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Put that on a pizza.
Put that on a pizza.
What a clusterfuck that was.
They can still hear us, can't they? Is this the outro? Totally.
God damn it!
I'll put that on a pizza.
Yeah. Oh, like that.
I'll put that on a pizza.